Chapter 1453. No matter what they want to do, they have a plan because they know that they can't keep us out forever. So I'm worried that they will make a mess and then run away, Night Sorrow said. It's not impossible. They used the rank 9 skeleton to scare us, and then ran away after plundering it. In the end, the threat of the rank 9 skeleton is still there. Our loss will be for nothing, Lord of Precious Fragrance said. Where can they run to? This time, we'll kill them to the end, Sima Tian Chang said. I've already sent people to plan inside. If there's any news or signs, the news will come, Lord of Precious Fragrance said. After the meeting, some people went back to make arrangements. After all, they had to go back and make some arrangements for the hidden people for more than 2 years. Night Sorrow also left. The 9-story building was heavily damaged, and he was very angry. Knowing that Night Sorrow was going back, Shangguan Hong's clone informed the hidden Heavenly Adept Formation Master to activate the teleportation formation to the 9 Firmament World Group at the Heaven Tiger Pass. There were defensive array formations on both sides of the Heaven Tiger Pass. It was not something that could be broken in a short period of time. Additionally, there were also defensive array formations inside the Heaven Tiger Pass. Hence, the Azure Supreme, the Arch City's princes, officials, and other important people retreated to the Heaven Tiger Pass first. After retreating to the Heaven Tiger Pass, the Formation Master set up the teleportation formation to the 9 Firmament World Group and sent some people there. Nu Lin's clone was guarding the place with a formation plate. Usually, the teleportation formation to the 9 Firmament World Group was closed. Now that they knew that Night Sorrow was coming back, Nu Lin and Shangguan Hong activated the teleportation formation. Stepping on the teleportation formation, Night Sorrow arrived at the reincarnation world in a moment. The location was in a big canyon in the eastern part of the reincarnation world. The Qing Emperor was connected to a low-level world or a high-level world. The teleportation formation was laid out step by step. After connecting to the reincarnation world, in order to avoid mistakes, he set up a teleportation formation that directly connected the 2 worlds. This canyon was the Fog Canyon. It was relatively safe with few people. It was the place where the secret guards were trained. It was more convenient for his own people to enter and exit, but others couldn't. Out of the Fog Canyon, Night Sorrow flew at top speed. After 2 hours, he arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass. Nodding to Nu Lin and Shangguan Hong, Night Sorrow got on the teleportation formation and teleported to the 9 Firmament World Group. After arriving at 7 Night City, Night Sorrow saw Jun Xuanji. I'm sorry. I didn't think that far ahead and cause you to lose your clone, Night Sorrow said apologetically. It's nothing. It's normal for a cultivator to lose a clone, but Jun Xuanji hesitated as he looked at Night Sorrow. But what? What's wrong? Night Sorrow frowned. After my doppelganger self-detonated, it seems that my soul power didn't disperse. It's sealed, Jun Xuanji said in a low voice. Don't worry. I will seek justice for you later. Ling Tian must die. Night Sorrow's body was filled with killing intent. He was truly furious. After that, Night Sorrow asked about the defense of the 9 Firmament World Group. After learning that there were no problems, he felt at ease. Your doppelganger has fallen. Your main body will stay in the Sky City. If there are orders, let others carry them out. Aunt Fei, you should also go to the Sky City, Night Sorrow said to Wu Lingfei as he turned his head. When Night Sorrow wasn't there, Jun Xuanji was in charge of the overall situation. Wu Lingfei assisted him. Now that Jun Xuanji had lost his clone, his main body was the most important. He couldn't be careless. Wu Lingfei was one of the people Night Sorrow respected and cared about the most. He was also very worried. Don't worry. We have many backup plans and the Ice Dragon Great Array. Even if the other party uses some method to break the seal of the teleportation formation, we still have time to retreat. However, the war in the Black-Yellow Great World is more important, Jun Xuanji said. I'm worried, so I came back to take a look. I have to go back in a while. Aunt Fei, if you stay here, my main body will go to the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall. If anything happens, you can inform me immediately, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Okay, my main body will go there in a while. Wu Lingfei nodded. There's another thing. As for the defense of Aluo, or rather, the defense of Dachira Chinensis, as long as Aluo doesn't come back with me, she can't use any of the teleportation formations, Night Sorrow said again. He was worried that Dachira Chinensis would break into the inner circle. That'll be big trouble. Jun Xuanji and Wu Lingfei both nodded. They already knew about this. Night Sorrow told some people to go back to the Nine Regions world. He returned to the Heaven Tiger Pass and then went back to the Black-Yellow Great World. At this time, many people had returned because the battlefield here was the most important. Everyone sat together and talked about it. They found that the problem wasn't too big. It was just that the Samsara city had suffered a great loss when they didn't retreat strategically at the beginning. It's not too big of a loss. Let them occupy the Samsara world first. When the situation here stabilizes, we'll go back, Qing Emperor said. When the time comes, we'll kill those bastards together, Lord of Heaven God who said. Everyone laughed. As long as the people around them were fine, they were more worried about him. Night Sorrow, we're short of top-grade teleportation stones. We only found one in the Divine Martial City. Take it. Then Lord of Heaven God Marshall took out a big piece of teleportation crystal. Top-grade teleportation crystals were hard to find. The teleportation crystal that Qing Emperor set up in the Fa Grand Canyon belonged to Tang Jianfeng. The Black-Yellow Great World only had one top-grade teleportation crystal. Now Lord of Heaven God, who might have the only top-grade teleportation crystal in the Shenwu Great World. Then I'll take it. We really need it now. Later, I'll continue to set up a secret teleportation formation. That way, even if they have diviners, they won't be able to destroy it, Night Sorrow said. We don't need to be polite. I think that as long as we don't make any noise, they won't notice it easily, Tang Jianfeng said. Night Sorrow nodded and then teleported back to the Fa Grand Canyon. Then, he went to the Sky Tiger Pass and set up a teleportation formation that was waiting to be activated. If it was activated, the diviners could do divinations. If it wasn't activated, what could they do? One side of the teleportation formation was at the Sky Tiger Pass, while the other side was at the Black-Yellow Great World. As long as Night Sorrow inserted the teleportation crystal in his hand, he could teleport. Now, everyone was waiting for the war to end and then counterattack. As for the damage, the Celestial Sect didn't cause much damage to the Reincarnation Great World. The top forces all took the initiative to retreat and took away all the resources. There was only so much that could be plundered. Or was the only authentic version. The other were stolen versions. Night Sorrow, we can't keep wasting time here. In the past, we didn't care. But now, the Reincarnation Great World will be occupied by others. We can't do that, Tang Jianfeng said. I need time to deal with that evil soldier, Night Sorrow said. Speak. The first update arrived. Chapter 1454. There is no possibility of defeating him at the moment, so a head-on battle is not a solution. I still need some time. When it's about time, I will fight with all my strength and see if I can defeat him. Yishan opened his mouth and said. At this moment, everyone was looking at Yishan. Their eyes were filled with astonishment. They had never thought of taking down the evil soldier. Is there hope? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow. When I reach the High Monarch level, I plan to fight with all my strength with my doppelganger. If I don't try, I don't know if it will work. His foundation is already like this, and he has already used his unique skill, so I am not afraid of him, Night Sorrow said. Good. Tang Jianfeng slammed the table. Then, Night Sorrow returned to his tent and talked to Dachira. You have to stay calm. Don't rush. The situation is already like this, and it can't get any worse, Dachira said. Understand. When I reach the High Monarch level, I will see the difference. Night Sorrow nodded at Dachira. You are my husband, or else I would be jealous of you. Do you know how many years it took to become a monarch in history? Millions of years. Not to mention the High Monarch level. Dachira looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. Night Sorrow's original body was comprehending the will, and his doppelganger was sharpening his fighting spirit at the front of the battlefield. The evil soldier looked really angry. The demon blood chi had a great effect on cultivators outside the demon blood region, but Night Sorrow was using it to train himself. Bear with it. The evil soldier had to bear with it. As long as a fierce soldier at the same level as him came, the current problem would be solved. At the headquarters of the Celestial Sect in the reincarnation world, Ling Tian was talking to a few higher-ups. Ling Ju was there too. It's unrealistic for us to completely block Emperor Qing and the others outside. At most, it would take us 3 to 5 years. Now that 2 years have passed, we have to consider moving and retreating. The plundering formation has been set up, and the Samsara Palace is isolated from the outside world. No one will know what we have done. If we plunder the origin energy without anyone knowing, our ultimate mission has been completed, Ling Tian said. There was a mistake in our calculations this time. We should have started fighting everywhere, giving them the opportunity to escape with the resources. This caused us to be able to plunder fewer resources. An elder spoke. He was Ling Tianyu, Ling Tian's cousin. Time doesn't allow us to play around. Tianyu, you'll be in charge of plundering. Ling Ju and I will leave first. There's no need for us to continue developing in the reincarnation world because there won't be any more luck, Ling Tian said. Father, I don't plan to leave. Let me refine that woman's soul first, Ling Tian said. Well, let's prepare for both sides. After plundering, you can retreat to the Koan inferior world. I will talk to the higher-ups. We have done a great job this time, so the sect should give us special treatment, Ling Tian said. The Celestial Sect was originally a subordinate sect of the Celestial Sect in the Celestial Realm. The main purpose of its development in the reincarnation world was to plunder the chi of the origin and enhance the Celestial Sect's luck. The Celestial Sect referred to the Celestial Sect in the Celestial Realm. The main force of the reincarnation world was assisting the Xuanhuan Great World in this realm war. Ling Tian thought it was the best chance in countless years, so he took action. At the same time, the Chira Chinensis came to the alliance. The two sides hit it off and started the war. Ling Tian was also trying to buy time by sealing the teleportation formation. He knew that if the ancestors could set up the teleportation formation, the Azure the Arch and the others could as well. What they needed was time. During this time, Ling Tian sent people to set up the plundering formation to surround the Samsara Palace. It took Ling Tian 2 years to set up the plundering formation. He didn't want to be detected by the origin of the reincarnation world. The origin of the reincarnation world was very powerful. Once the origin of the reincarnation world found out what he was doing, it would probably kill them. Ling Tian succeeded. He set up countless small formations in the past 2 years. After countless small formations were activated, the plundering formation was activated. It completely surrounded the reincarnation palace. The origin of the reincarnation world couldn't even ask for help. Look, the plundering formation was very deceptive. It surrounded the reincarnation palace and would not be easily seen through or destroyed. No one would think that there was a plundering formation outside the reincarnation palace. No one could do that. Everyone would think that it was a self-defense formation created by the reincarnation palace. In addition, in order to avoid the counterattack of the reincarnation world, Ling Tian planned to retreat. His task had been completed. There was no need to stay. He had more than one way out. First of all, they had the foundation of a small world. In addition, the Celestial Sect had a passage to the Celestial Realm. Of course, the passage also had restrictions. It was different from the passage guarded by Yuan Daotian. The Celestial Sect's passage was one way. In other words, one could only leave. It was suppressed by the origin of the reincarnation world. Otherwise, the experts of the Celestial Sect would have already arrived at the reincarnation world. In addition to these, Ling Tian also set up a backup plan. After activating the rank 9 skeleton, he placed it in the plundering formation. In other words, anyone who attacked the plundering formation would be killed by the rank 9 skeleton. The rank 9 skeleton was infused with his soul spirit energy. The energy that Ling Tian infused into the rank 9 skeleton could last for 100 years. In 100 years, the origin of the reincarnation world would be almost depleted. After arranging all these, Ling Tian left to deal with the follow-up matters. Ling Tianyu was enough to deal with the matters of the reincarnation world. As long as the Qing Emperor and the others returned, they would retreat. After Ling Tian left, Ling Tianyu went to deal with the plundering of resources. Ling Ju returned to his palace. In the palace, Ling Ju took out a crystal ball. The crystal ball was filled with energy rays, a rare origin soul. After refining and absorbing it, the strength of my soul will increase, Ling Ju muttered softly. When the celestial sect attacked the 9 grand floors, Ling Ju went. Because he hated Night Sorrow, he wanted to destroy Night Sorrow's forces with his own hands. When Jun Xuanji self-detonated, Ling Tian discovered that Jun Xuanji's soul was a pure origin soul. Refining it could strengthen one's body, so he sealed it and gave it to Ling Ju. Jun Xuanji sensed that his doppelganger's soul was about to be refined. This was a big matter. It could easily cause a chain reaction that would harm the main body. While controlling his soul's spirit energy to resist, Jun Xuanji went to the heaven-sealing palace and told Night Sorrow about it. After hearing this, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating outside the demonic blood chi, stood up. This matter was too big. He had to deal with it. If he couldn't protect the people around him, how could he protect the world? Night Sorrow decided to act. In order to prevent any side effects, he decided to send his doppelganger. If he sent his doppelganger out, Ling Tian would think that Night Sorrow already had a doppelganger in the reincarnation world. In addition, Night Sorrow also wanted to see how powerful the 9th stage skeleton was. After telling Datura that he had something to do, Night Sorrow directly left. After returning to the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow set off with Jun Xuanji. Jun Xuanji could sense his soul. Speak. The 2nd chapter has arrived. Thank you, Zizi Zhang, he for unsealed yesterday's chapter. Chapter 1455. It was dangerous to bring Jun Xuanji along, but Night Sorrow could only do so. When the time came, he would put Jun Xuanji into the 8-dragon cauldron. Night Sorrow did not believe that a rank 9 skeleton could be much stronger than an evil weapon. Using energy to change the muscles on his face, he teleported twice. After arriving at the celestial sect, Night Sorrow wrapped Jun Xuanji with his energy and flew quickly. While flying, Night Sorrow circulated his leakless true body to the extreme, mainly because he did not want to be detected by the other party. While they were flying, Jun Xuanji kept telling Yi Shang the location of his senses. Hold on, you must hold on. The integrity of your soul is very important. You cannot be refined by the other party. Night Sorrow was a little anxious. Z-Chap, XII. For inch, don't be too anxious. According to the current situation, I can still hold on for a few hours. Jun Xuanji said. That's enough. A few hours is enough. Night Sorrow breathed out and said. If he could save Jun Xuanji, then a few hours would be enough. If not, then a few days would be useless. Night Sorrow, it's my fault this time. I should not have told you and let you take the risk. After telling Night Sorrow, Jun Xuanji regretted it because Night Sorrow would definitely take action if he knew about this. If he did, then he would have to bear a great risk. It's indeed a great risk. If I can't win, then both of us will die here. You can't blame me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was actually not too worried because it would not be easy for anyone to kill him. Night Sorrow, you really shouldn't do this. You are the core of the 9 domains world, or even the core of the reincarnation great world. You shouldn't take such a risk for me. I don't even know how to face Chuyu and Yanglei. At this moment, Jun Xuanji was feeling uneasy. She was close friends with Sikong Chuyu and the others, but by revealing her situation, she was putting Night Sorrow at risk. They will understand. It would be unforgivable if you didn't tell them. We fought side by side and walked out of the 9 domains world together. We are friends who have gone through life and death together. We are brothers and sisters who have gone through life and death together. You can't leave me with any regrets. Night Sorrow said. I know. We're getting closer and closer, Jun Xuanji said to Night Sorrow. Hearing Jun Xuanji's words, Night Sorrow became even more cautious. He also set up a low-level teleportation array and embedded the teleportation array disk with a teleportation crystal. This way, it would be easier to retreat. After flying for a while, they arrived at the core area of the celestial sect. Night Sorrow spread his soul force to the maximum. This time, Night Sorrow was planning to sneak attack and rescue someone. He would leave once he succeeded. Of course, he couldn't be discovered. As they got closer, more and more guards appeared. However, it was impossible for them to discover Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was very fast. Using the buildings, he moved forward quickly. It's that white palace. My soul force is trapped inside. After getting close, Jun Xuanji pointed out the target. Releasing his soul force, Night Sorrow found Ling Ju holding the crystal ball and trying to refine it. There were no heaven monarchs in this area. After checking, Night Sorrow confirmed the situation. You enter the 8-dragon cauldron. I'll go kill him. Once I succeed, we'll retreat, Night Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji. Be careful. Jun Xuanji nodded. Night Sorrow moved his soul force and put Jun Xuanji into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then, he continued to move forward. His body flashed rapidly, dodging one patrol after another. Night Sorrow was not far from the area where Ling Ju was. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow flashed into the 8-dragon cauldron. He controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to fly close to the ground. Now, Night Sorrow's soul force was very strong. His original body was cultivating in the Haotian Divine Pagoda and had already refined a drop of soul cultivation liquid. Now, he controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to fly. Not only was it not difficult, but it was also very fast. Furthermore, his soul force was condensed and wouldn't cause any energy fluctuations. After successfully flying the 8-dragon cauldron into the palace, Night Sorrow knew that there was only one monarch realm cultivator, Ling Ju. Killing Ling Ju wouldn't be difficult. The main thing was to retreat. After the 8-dragon cauldron entered the main hall, Night Sorrow flashed out of the 8-dragon cauldron. He waved his hand and executed the Death Destruction Slash. Without the presence of a heaven monarch, this was an opportunity. He couldn't hesitate. The Death Destruction Slash triggered a soul spirit attack halo that enveloped Ling Ju. Night Sorrow's spatial rend seemed to have traveled through time and space. In an instant, it pierced through Ling Ju's head and destroyed his soul spirit. With a wave of his hand, Night Sorrow kept Ling Ju's storage ring and crystal ball. He then activated the teleportation disc and left the main hall. Just as Night Sorrow's figure disappeared, Ling Tianyu arrived. He was riding on a Heaven Monarch Rel puppet. He noticed the energy fluctuation of Night Sorrow's attack and activated the puppet to rush over. However, it was all too late. Ling Tianyu looked at everything coldly. At this moment, the pale-faced Ling Ju had also arrived. It was his clone. Earlier on, his clone was cultivating his combat skills somewhere else and managed to escape. However, the death of his original body was equivalent to destroying everything he had. In the following days, he would just be living. That was all. He wouldn't have any more achievements, and he wouldn't be able to reproduce and enjoy human relationships. Who is it? Ling Tianyu looked at his nephew and asked. It's Night Sorrow's clone. He sneak attacked me and took away that elemental soul and my storage ring. Ling Ju said with hatred. This time, he had suffered a great loss. His real body is in the black-yellow Great World. That's right. It seems that he has a doppelganger in the Samsara Great World. The woman with the original soul is someone close to him. Of course, he won't let you refine her. We were careless. Don't wander around during this time. After we deal with this, we will retreat. Ling Tianyu said. At the same time, he looked around. However, there was no trace of Night Sorrow. He also understood that Night Sorrow had left and wouldn't be waiting here to be attacked. After Night Sorrow teleported out using the teleportation disc, he dismantled the teleportation array and continued flying. At the same time, he sent Jun Xuanji out of the 8-dragon cauldron and gave him the crystal ball that contained the soul spirit power. Jun Xuanji's jade-like hand trembled as he crushed the crystal ball and absorbed the soul spirit power into his divine sea. Night Sorrow, thank you. The crisis has been resolved. Jun Xuanji looked at Night Sorrow apologetically. This time, it was equivalent to dragging Night Sorrow into danger. All right, be careful in the future. After sending Jun Xuanji to the Heavenly Tiger Pass, Night Sorrow said. Jun Xuanji nodded at Night Sorrow and stepped into the teleportation array. After sending Jun Xuanji off, Night Sorrow went to the Fa Grand Canyon and took the teleportation array back to the black-yellow Great World. Where did you go? Seeing Night Sorrow return, Dachira asked. I went to kill someone, Night Sorrow said after pouring himself a cup of tea. Kill who? Dachira looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. I killed Ling Ju, Ling Tian's son. He wanted to refine Jun Xuanji's soul. I went to kill him and snatched Jun Xuanji's soul back, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1456. Night Sorrow smiled apologetically at Dachira and explained the situation in detail. At first, he didn't say anything because he didn't want Dachira to worry. Now that the matter was over, he told her everything. Yes, we should have taken action. But you should have told me about this. We should have discussed it. You took too big a risk this time, Dachira said to Night Sorrow. I know. I had no choice this time. Ling Ju wants to refine Jun Xuanji's soul. This matter is too serious, Night Sorrow explained. At this moment, Qing Emperor and Misty Rain arrived. Dachira explained the situation to them. This time, I sent my clone to fight. They should think that my clone was originally in the reincarnation world. After all, in the eyes of ordinary people, if the teleportation array is connected, we will kill our way back. Besides, I had no choice but to take action this time, Night Sorrow said. It doesn't matter what they think. This is the situation. In fact, we should kill our way back now. It's just that we can't get away from here. Besides, Ling Tian will also estimate that we will set up a teleportation array. There might be a discrepancy in his estimation of the time, Qing Emperor said. In other words, there are two possibilities. Either they fight us to the death or they retreat, Dachira said. Actually, the possibility of them retreating is higher. After all, they benefited from it and obtained a lot of resources. After retreating, the threat of the rank 9 corpse will still be there, Qing Emperor analyzed. But we can only continue to wait. If we kill our way back, the situation here won't be good, Dachira sighed. This situation was very depressing for her. That's true. So, for the sake of the big picture, we can only wait and see, Qing Emperor nodded. Dachira Chinensis must be killed. She's too big a threat. She can pretend to be a Luo and give us a fatal blow, Night Sorrow said. That's simple. We need you to hold the fort here. We need you to take care of this evil weapon. Sister-in-law, and I will head back and kill that fella. Zhan Tan, who had been silent all this while, spoke up. That works too, but you have to be careful. If that rank 9 corpse appears, crush my messaging crystal. After pondering for a moment, Night Sorrow said. At the same time, he brought out several defensive array discs. Some were for escaping, while others were for messaging crystals. Then, Dachira and Zhan Tan set off. Everyone knew how dangerous Dachira Chinensis was. After Dachira and Sandalwood left, Night Sorrow took out Ling Ju's storage ring. He used his soul power to destroy Ling Ju's soul imprint and opened the ring. After opening it, Night Sorrow cursed. Ling Ju's storage ring contained too many resources. There were close to 1.5 million Saint Spirit stones, as well as all sorts of equipment and alchemy materials. These weren't Ling Ju's personal assets. Night Sorrow came to the conclusion that these were the resources that the Celestial Sect had plundered. At this moment, other than anger, Ling Ju was also afraid. Not only had his main body been killed by Night Sorrow, but he had also lost all the resources he had plundered from the region he was in charge of. All the resources were in his main body storage ring. Now that he had lost it, he naturally understood that Night Sorrow had erased his soul imprint. Ling Ju couldn't explain this to Ling Tian. He could only look for Ling Tianyu and hoped that he could speak up for him. Ling Ju, you are responsible for this matter. However, it's not entirely your fault that the other party came to our base to kill you. When the time comes, I will talk to the sect lord. Ling Tianyu sighed. Ling Ju's loss of resources was not a small loss for the Celestial Sect. When the Celestial Sect started the war, they had gained the most from quickly conquering Reincarnation City. Before they could conquer the other cities, they had already retreated with their resources. Therefore, their gains weren't that great. Ling Ju had kept the resources he had plundered from the Sima Manor and Fiend Valley, but now they were all in Night Sorrow's hands. After checking the resources, Night Sorrow smiled. This was equivalent to giving him more capital. After organizing the resources, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. Although he was worried about Dachira and Sandalwood's situation, he really couldn't leave this place. He had no choice but to save Jun Xuanji because of the urgent situation. He couldn't be so impulsive now. Night Sorrow's doppelganger cultivated the battle will, while his main body comprehended the will in the clear sky pagoda. At the same time, he refined the soul cultivation liquid. Night Sorrow could have refined the soul cultivation liquid long ago. However, his main body was always in a state of enlightenment and didn't have the time. Now, there was no problem. Time. Night Sorrow needed time. Night Sorrow realized that he didn't have enough time. He felt that he couldn't keep up with the pace. Fortunately, he had dealt with the dangers in the past. After 3 days, Dachira and Sandalwood returned. Seeing the smile on Dachira's face, Night Sorrow knew that it was a success. Before Night Sorrow could ask, Dachira took out a crystal ball. It's done. This is the power of her soul. She and I share the same origin. After refining it, our fate will become one. Very good. Then I have to congratulate you. Did you completely kill her? Night Sorrow asked. Very completely. Her soul is here, and her body is already in the dark abyss. Dachira nodded. How did you deal with the dark abyss? Night Sorrow asked again. I didn't deal with it. Let nature take its course. If I were to clean up the dark abyss, I might be attacked. It's not very appropriate. Dachira said. You handled it well. Night Sorrow nodded. The only knew, cue others too. Why piracy? The Celestial Sect didn't make any response. They couldn't make any response. The Rank 9 corpse was in a plunder array. Sensing danger, the Celestial Sect retreated under Ling Tianyu's arrangements. They disappeared in the blink of an eye. Qing Emperor and the others were puzzled. After investigating, they found that all the core members of the Celestial Sect had disappeared. Even the headquarters of the Celestial Sect couldn't find any core members. The heavenly monarchs of the reincarnation world all returned under Qing Emperor's arrangements to stabilize the situation. Night Sorrow, what's going on with the Celestial Sect? Qing Emperor was a little puzzled. They shouldn't be just after resources. If they were just after resources, they could be more ruthless and collect a large amount of resources from other affiliated worlds. They wouldn't have offended so many top forces and run away after robbing some resources. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. You're right. We must have overlooked something important. We have to investigate this carefully. Qing Emperor nodded. He agreed with Night Sorrow's point of view. A few days passed, and they didn't find any news about the Celestial Sect. Now the people of the Celestial Sect were in the Kuan lower world, and all the entrances and exits were closed. Only the Celestial Sect could enter and exit from the Kuan lower world. They had a transmission formation in the Kuan lower world that led to a small island in the endless sea of the reincarnation world. Chapter 1457. Ling Tianyu and Ling Ju were standing beside Ling Tian. Looking at the weakened Ling Ju, Ling Tian raised his hand to Ling Ju's face but put it down again. Although the loss was great, it wasn't all Ling Ju's fault. Night Sorrow's sudden attack was very difficult to defend against. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Since they might have already set up a teleportation formation, then don't show your face. The Kuan lower world is safer. I will wait here for news. Once the higher-ups send news, we will leave. However, Tianyu, your clone must stay. Ling Tian said. The plundering formation had been completed, and had already begun plundering. The plundering origin energy was stored in the spirit stones in the core of the formation. When a spirit stone was full, it would be replaced. This was done once every 5 years. Ling Tian had already taken care of this step. There was a teleportation formation in the plundering formation. When the time came, someone would teleport in and collect the spirit stones that were full of origin energy before replacing the empty ones. Someone had to be in charge of transporting the spirit stones to the celestial sect in the celestial realm. Ling Tian couldn't trust ordinary people, so he arranged for Ling Tianyu to be in charge. The disappearance of the celestial sect allowed the reincarnation great world to settle down. The regions of the various great powers regained their stability. Night Sorrow was still cultivating. He wanted to increase his willpower as soon as possible. Once he did, he would become a high-level monarch. In other words, he would be a peak monarch. The power of his willpower would change again. Now that the reincarnation great world was stable, Night Sorrow also had peace of mind. He cultivated steadily. Dechira also began to refine Dechira chinensis's soul energy. Dechira and Dechira chinensis came from the same origin. They were fated to be enemies. They were enemies, but they were also the greatest help. This time, Dechira's main body and clone went all out to kill Dechira chinensis. Actually, killing Dechira chinensis meant wiping out her consciousness and willpower. Dechira refined her soul energy to strengthen her own soul energy. The energy in Dechira chinensis's body would not be lost either. Dechira had already thrown her into the dark abyss where she had been born. Her energy would also be absorbed. For Dechira, refining the energy left by Dechira chinensis was not only an improvement in his cultivation, but also an improvement in his origin and essence. Night Sorrow's cultivation was very stable. 1.5 years had passed in the real world. Night Sorrow had entered the high-class monarch realm and refined the second drop of soul cultivation liquid. Just as Night Sorrow was about to have a real fight with Xie Bing, he felt something wrong with his body. The energy within Night Sorrow's body was quite complicated. There was the colored energy from the 3 lightning tribulations. Night Sorrow had already compressed it into one, but it was still not under his control. There was also the reincarnation origin energy. Now, there was something wrong with the reincarnation origin energy. The reincarnation origin energy was originally swimming in Night Sorrow's body, but now it stopped in Night Sorrow's Dantian region and trembled. This made Night Sorrow feel puzzled. After thinking for a while, he felt that there was something wrong with the origin of the world of samsara. Then he found Qing Emperor and told him his thoughts. Qing Emperor also felt that this was a serious matter. After talking for a while, they decided to put the fight with Xie Bing aside. They had to go to Samsara Palace to see what was wrong. No matter if it was a big world, a high-class world, or a small world, the origin of the world was the core. If there was something wrong with the origin of the world, the consequences would be very serious. Night Sorrow's doppelganger stayed at the front of the battlefield, while his original body took the transmission formation back to the world of Samsara and went directly to Samsara Palace. Samsara Palace could not be seen. The fog was rolling, and the energy completely covered Samsara Palace. The big formation had a mysterious aura and a strong killing intent. Night Sorrow stood in front of the big formation, but the origin of Samsara Palace did not appear. After looking at it for a while, Night Sorrow felt that the formation was not easy to break. It would take a long time. Moreover, it was not appropriate to break the big formation surrounding Samsara Palace directly. It was disrespectful to the origin of the world of samsara. Besides, Night Sorrow felt threatened instinctively. Night Sorrow felt that it was unreasonable for the origin of the world to attack him. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow went back to the command tent in front of the formation of the black-yellow Great World. At this time, a group of Lords of Heaven were talking in the big tent. They had almost nothing to practice. It was rare for them to gather together, so they drank tea and chatted. Of course, they did not touch the area of their unique skills. Misty Rain asked, "Night Sorrow, why do you look so pale?" Master's wife, everyone is here. Now I am confused. Knight Sorrow found a place to sit down and said, "If you have any questions, tell me. I'm listening." Qing Supreme Thearka's originally smiling face calmed down because Yishang had never said anything about his questions. There's something wrong with the origin of the world of samsara. Knight Sorrow told everyone what he had found. The formation surrounding Samsara Palace? How could it be? Sima Tianqing said in surprise. Is it because when the celestial sect overthrew the rule of the world of samsara, the origin of samsara felt the crisis and set up a self-defense formation? Red Emperor said, that formation is very strange. It not only has killing intent, but also has an indescribable feeling. In addition, I want to ask if it is a formation set up by Samsara Palace. Is it a natural formation? Knight Sorrow asked. Yes, if the origin of the world wants to protect itself, then the formation should be a very powerful natural formation. Qing Emperor nodded. Master, you and Master Sima are both formation experts. Let's go and see. I can confirm that there is something wrong with the origin of Samsara Palace. Knight Sorrow said, OA #firstB /Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing were still in the tent, but their doppelgangers had already gathered in front of Samsara Palace to study the formation outside Samsara Palace. After studying for 6 or 7 days, they had a result. Yishang, you're right. That formation isn't right. It's not just for defense and attack. It also has other functions. I don't know the exact functions, but it has an evil aura. That's not right, Emperor Qing said. The formation must be broken. We must see the origin of the world of samsara. That formation is definitely not set up by me. Knight Sorrow exhaled and said, How can you be so sure? Lord of Precious Fragrance asked. First of all, it feels wrong. Second, I feel threatened. It is obviously impossible for the origin of the world to threaten me. I'm a virtuous saint. How can the origin of the world attack me? This is simply inconceivable. It should not be, Knight Sorrow said. After breaking the formation and seeing the origin of the world, everything will be clear. When the formation is broken, I must go back. If I feel threatened, then there must be killing intent. Knight Sorrow was worried that Qing Emperor and the others could not handle it. Now, which side is the world of samsara and the black-yellow great world? Both are crises that threaten the origin. Sima Tianqing asked. Chapter 1458. Then Master and Master Sima's clone will go and study how to break the formation. Qing Emperor nodded. Study it first, but don't touch it. Once you've figured it out, you can break it in one go. The formation is filled with hidden dangers. If you break it gradually, it's hard to say what will happen, Knight Sorrow reminded him. He was very cautious now. Master understands. You don't have to worry about it. Qing Emperor nodded. After so much trouble, he didn't want Knight Sorrow to shoulder everything. Knight Sorrow returned to the tent. Breaking the formation required time, and there was no point in him being anxious. Knight Sorrow, can my main body enter the clear sky pagoda to cultivate? I want to refine the thing that Datura Chinensis left behind as soon as possible, Datura asked. Of course, there was no problem. Knight Sorrow's clone opened the clear sky pagoda and pulled Datura's main body into the time-accelerated space. Knight Sorrow and Mandala's clone brewed a pot of tea and chatted casually. Troubled times. Datura sighed after drinking a mouthful of water. These are all hidden dangers that have been accumulating for a long time. They just broke out prematurely. The Celestial Sect should have dealt with it long ago. They shouldn't have left it until now. Knight Sorrow expressed his opinion. Back then, the Heavenly Monarch of Thunderfire was in charge of Samsara City. Who would dare to go and destroy the Celestial Sect? Datura didn't understand. Now that we've passed this crisis, even if things are stable, the Samsara world's origin was devoured by the devil-blooded evil insects. Where did the problem come from? It's that formation. There must be something inside it. Actually, from the simplest point of view, it's nothing. I'm the virtuous merit saint, infinitely close to the virtuous merit great sage. The origin of the reincarnation ocean world recognizes me. No matter what, it won't attack me. But when I stand there, I can feel danger. This danger is brought about by the natural formation. So the problem lies within the formation, said Night Sorrow. Did the celestial sect do something and then withdraw from the samsara world? Dachira looked at Night Sorrow and asked, This is very likely, so the formation must be broken. Even if the samsara palace set up the formation for self-defense, it doesn't matter, because I can protect him now, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow had pondered over this matter and felt that something was amiss. There was something wrong with the array formation. Originally, he had decided to fight to the death with Evil Soldier. But now, Night Sorrow felt that it was better to play it safe. There was no need for that at the moment. He had already started to refine the third drop of soul cultivation liquid and was continuing to comprehend his will. Calm down. We'll deal with whatever comes our way. There's nothing we can't handle. Retreat. Dachira nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. He was now 30% away from perfecting his will. By then, he would be a Heaven Monarch. With the cultivation of the Heaven Monarch realm, Night Sorrow was not afraid of anyone. Night Sorrow had measured his battle strength. When he was a middle-grade monarch, he could kill a Heaven Monarch and fight Evil Soldier. When he was a high-grade monarch, it would be even easier for him to kill a Heaven Monarch. As for whether he could kill Evil Soldier, it was unknown. It depended on Evil Soldier's soul defense. If the soul defense was strong enough, even if he could not kill Evil Soldier, he would not be at a disadvantage. Night Sorrow went to the front of the battlefield every day to cultivate his will of battle. This was the path that all Heaven Monarchs took. Monarchs usually did not touch it. Even Heaven Monarchs did not cultivate like him. If their attributes were not good enough, they could not suppress the invasion of the demonic blood chi. This was the fundamental difference. Evil Soldier felt that Night Sorrow's aura had become stronger. From a middle-grade monarch to a high-grade monarch, he was even less confident because he could not even take down a middle-grade monarch like Night Sorrow. The 9-story building was rebuilt. Hong Yi and Lanning were in charge of it. As for safety, everyone was not afraid anymore. As long as the celestial sect appeared again, it would be a fight because there were a few teleportation arrays. Qing Emperor and Sima, Tianqing's doppelganger, studied the array outside the Samsara Palace every day. At the same time, they presided over the restoration of order in the Samsara city. In the celestial realm, Ling Tian received an order from the celestial realm to continue collecting the origin energy. When the matter was successful, he would return to the celestial realm. He could not leave for now. This order stunned Ling Tian. This meant that there had to be a conclusion to this matter. He just brought the celestial sect back. Ling Tian did not expect this, but he still had to carry out the order and let the people of the celestial sect stay in the Kuan lower realm. No one could stay on the island in the endless sea domain. He was afraid of being divined by the fortune teller. If the fortune teller divined this island, it would be troublesome. In fact, Qing Emperor and the others had arranged for divination. They divined that the people of the celestial sect had arrived in the Kuan lower realm. Everyone knew that the Kuan lower realm was a very difficult world to enter because it was surrounded by galactic storms. It could only be passed through at a specific time. This world was very long and only happened once every 10,000 years. In other words, it was unrealistic to travel through the void and set up a teleportation array. They had to wait. After learning that the celestial sect had gone to the Kuan lower realm, Night Sorrow understood that the celestial sect was really going to retreat. First of all, they had to wait for a specific time to set up the teleportation array. Secondly, they had to find a way to restrain the rank 9 corpse. Otherwise, they would suffer heavy losses even if they fought their way in. This was something that no one was willing to bear. At the same time, Qing Emperor and the others also analyzed that the celestial sect would secretly connect the reincarnation world to the Kuan lower realm. However, this was easy to find. If it was not activated, the fortune teller would not be able to find it. In addition, the celestial sect would not provoke the major forces in the reincarnation world who were now very angry. Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing studied the array every day, but they did not break it. They wanted to wait until they had studied it thoroughly before breaking it in one go. After being reminded, there might be danger in this array. Half a year later, Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing found Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, we don't understand this array. It is a combination of attack and defense. However, there is a special mystery in the middle. Master and Sima Manor have never seen it before. It is an array that has never appeared in the reincarnation world. Qing Emperor said, "Since Master and Manorhead Sima have never seen it before, I won't be able to understand it either. Let Lord Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Monarch, take a look. Perhaps he will have a different opinion," Yi Shang said after thinking for a while. "Okay, then let Lord Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord come and take a look." Qing Emperor nodded. Latest chapter previous, and after thinking for a while, Night Sorrow's doppelganger left the base and rushed to the island where Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Reincarnation was. Because of the teleportation array, it did not take long to go back and forth. Even if the evil soldiers were to fight, his original body could fight. Another doppelganger could also return quickly. When they reached Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord, Huang Yu, who was guarding the teleportation array, was very polite. He bowed to Night Sorrow and brought Night Sorrow to the side hall behind Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord. It was the resting place of Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord. Before Night Sorrow arrived, Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord appeared. "Night Sorrow, you are here. There are some things that I am helpless about. Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord cannot be lost. I cannot fight to the death." Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Lord said apologetically. Chapter 1459. Then Night Sorrow explained the situation. "The situation you mentioned is quite serious. My formation Dao cultivation is not bad, so I'll go and take a look. It's safe if this place is sealed. Those bastards from the Celestial Sect can't break in." Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven, said. He valued this place the most because once Yuan Dao Heaven was attacked, the consequences would be terrible. Then Night Sorrow took Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven, to Samsara City. Looking at the formation outside Samsara Palace, Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven's face became more and more serious. Because Night Sorrow couldn't leave the position for a long time, everyone went to the command tent at the front of the Xuanhuan Great World. Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven, looked at the formation diagram drawn by Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing. They had different understandings of formation Dao, so they dissected different parts of the formation outside Samsara Palace. "It's the plundering formation." After an hour, Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven, looked up and said to everyone, "What's the plundering formation?" Dachira asked. "Actually, I found something wrong when we arrived outside Samsara Palace. I didn't dare to confirm it at that time. Now that I've seen the parts dissected by Qing Emperor and Chief Sima, I'm sure it's the plundering formation." Then Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven, explained the function and situation of the plundering formation. "They have sinister intentions." Night Sorrow noticed it. If he didn't, we would have thought it was the defense formation of Samsara Palace. That would be a big problem. Li Tianba scolded. "That's right. If Night Sorrow didn't have the origin power in his body, it wouldn't have been easy to find out. This might be what they want. If we didn't notice it for 100 years, the origin power of the Samsara world would have been plundered. Within 1,000 years, there would have been no spirit chi, and it would have been destroyed." Yuan Dao, Lord of Heaven's face didn't look very good, because Celestial Sect's move was too vicious. Some time has already passed. It has been close to 4 years since the reincarnation world was occupied. "We have to hurry," the Crimson Emperor said. This formation was activated 2 years after the Celestial Sect occupied Samsara City. "That is to say, they have been plundering for 2 years," said the Qing Emperor. "As for the chi of origin that has been plundered in the past 2 years, you don't have to worry. I reckon that there is a spiritual origin stone in the core of the formation that stores the chi of origin. As long as the spiritual origin stone is still there, the chi of origin will not be lost. When the time comes, we can just put it back in the Samsara Palace," Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao said. "Since there are spiritual origin stones stored in the formation, it means that there are still people who want to enter and exit the formation because they want to take away the spiritual origin stones. I can sense danger." Either the killing array within the array formation is very powerful, or there's an existence that can threaten me. Night Sorrow clenched his right hand. The situation was very complicated. Their people might not dare to appear near the Samsara Palace. It's also possible that there's a teleportation formation in the center of the formation that allows them to enter and exit. This way, they can avoid our detection, Lord of Heaven Yuandao said. The specific area of the formation does not interfere with the operation of other formations. It's also possible that there's a teleportation formation. Now, we have to focus on breaking the formation, Qing Emperor said. Since Lord of Heaven Yuandao knows about the plunder formation, it's easy to break it, Misty Rain said. No, the same formation will have different characteristics and styles. Therefore, it will take time to break the formation, but it's not difficult, Lord of Heaven Yuandao said. Then I'll continue to stay here. Master, you guys go and break the formation. Let me know immediately if anything happens, Night Sorrow said. Then Lord of Heaven Yuandao went to the Samsara city and broke the formation with Qing Emperor's doppelganger and Sima Tianqing's doppelganger. Night Sorrow called for Nu Lin and asked him to arrange for his doppelganger to go to the Samsara city. Nu Lin's doppelganger would follow him and inform him immediately if anything happened. It was not that Night Sorrow was cautious, but he felt threatened by the plunder formation outside the Samsara Palace. If he felt threatened, then Qing Emperor and others might not be able to resist. Every day, seeing Night Sorrow sitting at the front of the formation to cultivate and sometimes strolling with him on his back, Evil Soldier was very angry. However, after cultivating for so many years, he had the patience to wait for Lai Bing's arrival. If Lai Bing did not come, he would not be able to take down Night Sorrow. If he attacked, it would be embarrassing. He would not do it. If Evil Soldier did not come out, Night Sorrow would not be able to fight even if he wanted to. If he rushed into the Devil Blood Chi, he would be easily beaten up. When other Lords of Heaven entered the Devil Blood Chi, their strength would be reduced. Lord of Heaven Yuandao, Qing Emperor, and Sima Tianqing observed outside the Samsara Palace. At the same time, they kept drawing the formation. They had to study it first, and then break the formation in one fell swoop. 2 months later, Lord of Heaven Yuandao began to break the formation because the study was almost done. As Lord of Heaven Yuandao threw out the Saint Spirit Stone, the aura of the plunder formation became weaker and weaker. At this time, in the core area of the formation, which was in front of the gate of the Samsara Palace, a silver-haired elder who was sitting cross-legged stood up. Part 5 be that his silver-haired elder was very burly. It could not even be described as burly because he was already 5 meters tall, much taller than ordinary people. However, his hair was like withered grass, and there was no spirit in his eyes when he opened them. However, this phenomenon only lasted for a moment. Then, a pair of eyes like dead fish were full of light, and his hair became lustrous. Break the formation. Did they find a problem? This should not be. The elder murmured in a low voice. Then, he flashed into the formation and rushed outside. He could not let the formation be broken. Whoever broke the formation, he would kill. This was the 9th rank corpse of the Celestial Sect. It was now controlled by Ling Tian's soul force, which meant that Ling Tian could control the 9th rank corpse to fight. The moment the 9th rank corpse rushed out of the formation, Lord of Heaven Yuandao, Qing Emperor, and Sima Tianqing knew that something was wrong because the suppression was too strong. The 9th rank corpse carried with it the suppression of heaven and earth. Before the battle started, Lord of Heaven Yuandao and the other 2 were suppressed. Damn it! If you dare to break the formation, I will kill you. Ling Tian was very angry. Originally, he thought that this formation would be regarded as a defensive formation and could exist for a period of time. Even if it was discovered later, he could control the 9th rank corpse to defend it. But now that it was discovered, the problem was more serious. Ling Tian decided to kill. He would first kill the 3 people who could break the formation. That way, the formation would be able to last a little longer. What Ling Tian needed now was time. Time to plunder the origin energy of the formation. Defend, this is the 9th rank corpse. Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao took out his sword and shouted at Qing Emperor and Sima Tianqing at the same time. This was a crisis for the three of them. If you don't come here, you can still live well. Since you dare to break the formation, you three can die. Ling Tian shouted and rushed towards Lord of Heaven Yuan Dao. Chapter 1460. Shall/equals unsealed. After the City Lord seal flew out, Qing Emperor's expression changed. It was ineffective. The City Lord seal was ineffective without the support of the origin energy. SS. The silver-haired old man, or rather, Ling Tian, who was controlling the silver-haired old man's corpse, sliced the City Lord seal into two with a single slash. After destroying the City Lord seal, Ling Tian flew towards Qing Emperor with a violent aura. He hated Qing Emperor the most. Now, Qing Emperor was in charge of the reincarnation world. In addition, it was also Qing Emperor who stopped him from getting Knight Soro's heavenly Tao artifact. The Lotus Emperor retreated and at the same time sent out a sword chi. However, when the sword chi reached Ling Tian, its power was reduced by at least half. Ling Tian did not defend at all and allowed the sword chi to cut his body. Then, he slashed at Qing Emperor with his battle blade. When the sword chi hit Ling Tian's body, it was immediately neutralized by the vibrating energy on his body. However, Ling Tian's battle blade was not far from Qing Emperor's head. Fortunately, at this critical moment, Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord blocked the blade for Qing Emperor. However, he was also pushed far away and could not fight back. He was an expert among the Heavenly Lords, but he was no match for Ling Tian, who was controlling a rank 9 corpse. The difference was huge, and there was no comparison. It was a complete suppression. Ling Tian controlled the rank 9 corpse to attack Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord and the other 2 Heavenly Lords. His body carried the power of heaven and earth, and Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord and the other 2 Heavenly Lords could not fight back. In other words, no matter how strong their attacks were, they could not break through Ling Tian's protective barrier after being suppressed by the power of heaven and earth. I will place the array here. Let's see who can break it. I will kill anyone who dares to come close. Today, I will kill the 3 of you first. Ling Tian was very arrogant now. He had the strength to fight. Ling Tian felt that he was very capable. So what if he was a monarch? In the past, when he controlled the Heaven Monarch grade puppet, he could fight against a Heaven Monarch. Now, he could control the Tier 9 corpse and chase after a Heaven Monarch. However, Ling Tian was also aware of some of the drawbacks. The 9th stage corpse had existed for many years, or rather, it had fallen for many years. Its body was already a little stiff, and its energy circulation was not very smooth. However, it was more than enough to kill Yuan Dao Heavenly Monarch and the other 2. Even if there were any results, it would only be a matter of time before the battle prowess of both sides could be compared. Qing Emperor and Yuan Dao Heavenly Lord had both executed their ultimate moves, but Ling Tian wasn't afraid of soul spirit attacks. The power of heaven and earth that the rank 9 corpse carried suppressed a portion of the attacks, while the rest was taken directly. The 3 of them couldn't do much to Ling Tian. This was the difference in strength. When the difference in strength was huge, many attacks could be ignored. At this time, Knight Sorrow knew about the battle in front of the Reincarnation Palace. Someone had already come to report. First, it was the angry Lin army soldier. Then it was Sima Tianqing's. Knight Sorrow's original body came out of seclusion. He brought along Hao Ian's godly detective and merged with his doppelganger. They took the teleportation formation and left. Before leaving, he told City Lord Tang, Lord Shunhu, and the others to try their best to delay the battle. He was worried that the evil soldiers would attack when they saw that he wasn't around. If they didn't have enough manpower, then the problem would be serious. Knowing that the 9th stage corpse had appeared, Knight Sorrow's original body carried the Hao Ian Godly Pagoda, and his doppelganger carried the 8 Dragon Cauldron. They took the teleportation formation and teleported to the reincarnation world. When Night Sorrow arrived in front of the Reincarnation Palace, Qing Emperor was in danger. His left arm was chopped off by Ling Tian's blade radiance. Night Sorrow's Haotian godly pagoda protected his body, and the reincarnation world went out horizontally, blocking Ling Tian's fatal blade. With a violent buzzing sound, Night Sorrow and Ling Tian separated. They were evenly matched in this head-on collision. Night Sorrow had the support of fighting spirit, and with his tyrannical strength, he didn't lose out. "You deserve to die." Ling Tian's voice came from the silver-haired old man as he swung his blade behind him. "You deserve to die. You deserve to die 10,000 times." Night Sorrow shouted coldly. He was furious because Ling Tian didn't care about the lives of millions and millions of people and was robbing the origin energy of the reincarnation world. "After I kill you, you will know who deserves to die." Ling Tian waved his blade and rushed towards Night Sorrow. "Master, you guys hold the formation. Today, we will fight to the death. No one can escape." Night Sorrow's fighting spirit burst forth, and the reincarnation world rushed towards Ling Tian's blade. Bang! With a muffled sound, the two separated again. With the support of Night Sorrow's fighting spirit, he resisted the negative suppression from Ling Tian's momentum of heaven and earth. His will of nothingness and rules erupted to fight with Ling Tian, and he wasn't at a disadvantage. The momentum of heaven and earth is controlled by a half-step emperor, and the energy in his body is also at the half-step emperor level. You can't be arrogant. After two head-on clashes, Night Sorrow felt that Ling Tian was controlling the ninth stage corpse. It was about the same level as the evil soldier. Night Sorrow didn't think much of it, but Ling Tian was shocked because Night Sorrow was much stronger than Yuan, Dao, Heavenly Monarch, and the other two. Then, Night Sorrow fought with all his strength. There was nothing to test with Ling Tian, and they just fought to the death. After a few more rounds, Night Sorrow discovered the difference between Ling Tian and the evil soldier. The ninth stage corpse controlled by Ling Tian had strong defense, but it wasn't fast enough, and it wasn't agile enough. The light from Night Sorrow's samsara, even if it was the light of void true chi, could not break through Ling Tian's defense. Similarly, the saber light from Ling Tian's saber could not injure Night Sorrow because Night Sorrow's clear sky, godly pagoda's defense was extremely strong. The sputtering saber light was also ineffective against Night Sorrow. The two of them started to fight fiercely in the sky above the plundering array. The battle was evenly matched, but Night Sorrow's high attributes and tyrannical body, as well as the cultivation of his battle intent, made up for his shortcomings. "Clone!" Night Sorrow roared, and the clone, with the protection of the 8-dragon cauldron, joined the battle with the Sky Splitter. At this moment, Ling Tian realized that the situation wasn't right. He couldn't even take down Night Sorrow's original body, and now he had a powerful clone. Not to mention killing him, he couldn't even protect himself. Afterimage Body. Night Sorrow used Afterimage Body, followed by Soul Extinguishing Slash. At this moment, Night Sorrow's Soul Extinguishing Slash was no longer the same as before. His soul power was already far superior to cultivators of the same level, and now that he had refined 2 drops of soul-cultivating liquid, the power of his Soul Extinguishing Slash naturally increased. Night Sorrow controlled 2 crescent moon blades to fly towards Ling Tian, followed by Space Splitter. 2 extremely condensed space blades were released, and 2 black threads sliced towards Ling Tian. Those were Space Splitters, and if one was hit by them, they would be cut in half. Look at the chapter on the first page after Soul Extinguishing Slash and Space Splitter were released. Night Sorrow's original body used Great Emperor Reincarnation Slash, and his clone used Great Death Annihilation Slash. 2 ultimate moves flew towards Ling Tian. Thunderous Means. What Night Sorrow was using right now was a Thunderous Means. He wanted to kill Yemo, Night Sorrow. Be careful, his soul defense is very strong. Qing Emperor shouted. He was a little worried. However, reality was different from what the Cyan the Arch had imagined. Yishang's 2 soul extermination crescent moon blades sliced through Ling Tian's soul defense. Under such circumstances, Ling Tian's soul defense was greatly reduced. Night Sorrow's 2 ultimate moves arrived in an instant. Speak. 4th update. 2 more updates before 10 o'clock. Chapter 1461. The purple glow from the Emperor's reincarnation / and the rainbow glow from the death annihilation / enveloped Ling Tian. Then die for me. Night Sorrow reincarnation used extreme kill, while his clone used spatial twisting dragon kill. Both attacks landed on Ling Tian's body. Night Sorrow's doppelganger's spatial twisting dragon / pierced through Ling Tian's back, but it was only able to pierce half a foot in. Ling Tian's level was low, but the rank 9 corpse was at the monarch realm when he was alive. The energy in his body was extremely tyrannical. His body contained the energy of the heavenly Tao's general momentum and laws. Night Sorrow could only penetrate half a foot into his body. Helpless, Night Sorrow continued to use the time oscillation wave to destroy. His doppelganger didn't do anything, but his main body was different. Night Sorrow's main body was strong, and reincarnation was the source of his strength. His spatial twisting dragon / couldn't compare to it. Half of the blade pierced through Ling Tian's head, but Ling Tian's left hand grabbed onto the back of the blade. Let's see if you'll die. Night Sorrow's left hand formed a claw and grabbed onto Ling Tian's shoulder. He controlled Ling Tian so that he wouldn't break free, and his right hand continued to exert strength. At this time, Ling Tian still had his consciousness, and the blade in his right hand quickly pierced towards Night Sorrow's chest. At this time, Night Sorrow was faced with 2 choices. He could either let go of Ling Tian and dodge, or he would have to endure this attack. He had to kill this corpse, or he wouldn't have such an opportunity in the future. Yishang's heart was filled with hatred as he twisted his body to avoid being hit. Ling Tian's battle blade pierced through Yishang's right chest. Night Sorrow's right hand trembled violently, wanting to pierce through Ling Tian's head and destroy his spirit ocean. In a stalemate, Ling Tian shook his blade to destroy Night Sorrow's body, and Night Sorrow wanted to destroy Ling Tian's spirit ocean. Night Sorrow knew that he couldn't do this, because Ling Tian was controlling the corpse's energy, and he might not be able to win this stalemate. Night Sorrow's clone, who hadn't done anything, couldn't persevere any longer. After pulling out splitting air, he leapt into the air and spun around. His right leg ferociously kicked Samsara's tail. At the same time, Chun Feng's true body erupted with all of his true energy and body's energy, and the reincarnation sword stabbed out again. Chi Lade's sound of weapons grinding against bones could be heard as Samsara directly pierced through Ling Tian's head, shattering his deity ocean. I will definitely kill you, Ling Tian shouted, but he didn't say anything else because the soul energy he had left in the corpse had been dispersed. Night Sorrow kicked the rank 9 corpse, sending it flying. When it hit the ground, he pulled it back. Samsara also landed on the ground. His left hand grabbed the saber and slowly pulled it out of his body. Night Sorrow, how are you doing? Qing Emperor rushed over and asked worriedly. Dinu Sunisvi, I've suffered some trauma, but it's not a big problem. Night Sorrow said. In fact, his injuries were very serious. The rank 9 corpse's energy was very strong, and there was still a part of it left in Night Sorrow's body, which needed to be dealt with slowly. Good. You've solved the biggest problem of our reincarnation world, Yuan Dao, Heavenly Lord said. Break the formation. This should be Ling Tian's biggest trump card. There shouldn't be any problems. Call me if there's any problem. Night Sorrow's clone left. The problem here was solved, and the black-yellow great world's evil soldiers had to be dealt with. Hao Ian Godly Pagoda appeared, and Night Sorrow put away the rank 9 corpse to suppress it. He also entered the highest level of time acceleration to recover. Yuan Dao, Heavenly Lord, and the other 2 started to break the formation. At this moment, they didn't need to be secretive. They directly broke the formation, which was much more efficient than before. Night Sorrow ate the life spirit liquid and the healing medicine, and began to heal in seclusion. Ling Tian's blade was very sharp. It had injured Night Sorrow's flesh and tendons, and the energy was still destroying. Night Sorrow wanted to refine it and expel it from his body. Only Night Sorrow could withstand it. If it was only us, we would have been killed. Even if we weren't killed, we would have had to run away. Sima Tian Chung said with some emotion. They knew how powerful the Rank 9 corpse was. The three of them couldn't withstand it. If Night Sorrow hadn't arrived in time, they would have been killed. Lang Lang Qiankuan, deal with this Rank 9 corpse. The reincarnation world will be restored soon, Qing Emperor said. Yuan Dao, Heavenly Lord, nodded. He had seen the ferocious side of Night Sorrow. Not everyone had the courage to exchange injuries for lives, but Night Sorrow did it. At this moment, in the Kuan lower world, Ling Tian's face was extremely ugly. He knew that the mission had failed. The plundering formation would be broken soon. He didn't even get a full spiritual origin stone. Secmaster, what should we do? Ling Tianyu asked after knowing the situation. There's no other way. This is a complete failure. Moreover, there's no place for us in the reincarnation world. Explain to the higher-ups and see if they will forgive us, Ling Tian said after thinking for a while. The celestial sect was currently safe in the Kuan lower world. However, when the star field turbulence weakened, the reincarnation world would be able to set up a teleportation formation to exterminate them. Therefore, he had to make plans to leave. Secmaster, you have to make a backup plan. Send your doppelganger to the celestial realm and explain to the sect headquarters. All right, let's all go back. If they don't forgive us and attack us ruthlessly, Secmaster will only lose your doppelganger, Ling Tianyu said. Ling Tian nodded. He wasn't sure how the celestial sect in the celestial realm would deal with it. Would they give him another chance? When Night Sorrow's doppelganger returned to the Xuanhuan Great World, he saw the evil soldiers coming out of the camp of the Devil Blood Chi. Originally, the evil soldiers wanted to fight when they found that Night Sorrow wasn't there. However, when they saw Night Sorrow, they gave up the idea and retreated. Seeing the evil soldiers retreat, Night Sorrow began to cultivate his fighting spirit outside the camp of the Devil Blood Chi. During the 3 days in the real world, Night Sorrow's original body cultivated in the Hao Ian Godly Pagoda for 5 months. Only then did he recover from his injuries. The main reason was that the energy contained in that strike was too violent. After almost recovering, Night Sorrow came out to watch the three of them break the formation. In 3 days, they had broken half of the plundering formation outside the reincarnation palace. How do you feel? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Very good. I'm quite happy. We've solved a hidden danger, a rank 9 skeleton that always threatened us, Night Sorrow said. Except for you. No one can defeat him. Thank you for your hard work, Lord Yuandao said with a smile. 6 days later, the plundering formation was completely broken. The rolling fog disappeared, and the reincarnation palace appeared in everyone's sight again. Night Sorrow came to the front of the reincarnation palace. The original body of the world of reincarnation appeared and stared at Night Sorrow. It seems that the chi of reincarnation that I gave you is really karma. If you didn't notice it, the world of reincarnation would have entered the stage of destruction. The original body of the reincarnation palace said to Night Sorrow. Chapter 1462. It was plundered a little. It's here. The world of reincarnation's origin body waved its arm. A spiritual stone with green light flew out from the core of the broken formation and landed in the world of reincarnation's origin body's hand. It's good that you're fine. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt relieved. The world of reincarnation's origin body was fine. Everything was fine. I'm wary of everyone, but not you. You've done a great service to reincarnation world. There's a limit to how much I can help you. If you need my help in the future, just come here, said the world of reincarnation's origin body. Night Sorrow understands. This is what Night Sorrow should do. Night Sorrow nodded. Qing Emperor and the others bowed to the world of reincarnation's origin body. It was because they didn't do enough that reincarnation world suffered such a calamity. It's not all your fault. but you have to work hard. Why do you feel so powerless? It's because you're not strong enough. The world of reincarnation's origin body glanced at the Lotus the Arch and the other two. Then, he threw another City Lord seal to the Lotus the Arch. The original City Lord seal, which was not strengthened by the origin power, had already shattered. Night Sorrow, you have my origin body in your body. If there's a reaction, it means that I want to see you. Remember, I might not see anyone, but I will definitely see you. After saying this, the world of reincarnation's origin body left. His origin chi was plundered. Although he got it back, he still needed to recover. Master, I'll go back to Xuanhuan Great World first. The situation there is very important. Night Sorrow said to Qing Emperor. The Azure Supreme, the Arch nodded. His clone could handle the matters here. The reincarnation Great World was no longer in danger. The Celestial Sect's Rank 9 skeleton, Night Sorrow, had been destroyed. What else could threaten the reincarnation Great World? Qing Emperor, I'm returning to the primordial Tao Celestial. If there's anything, just send me a message. The primordial Tao Heavenly Lord gave the Qing Emperor a message crystal before leaving. He was also unable to leave. Qing Emperor, the problem that has troubled us for many years has finally been solved. When the star field turbulence in the periphery of Kuan lower bound weakens, we will set up a teleportation array and kill our way in. We won't give them any chance at all. It's too despicable. If we let them do whatever they want in Kuan lower bound will be destroyed. Sima Tian Chang said. They only have 2 Heaven Master level puppets in their hands. As long as we set up a teleportation formation, we can get rid of them. Indeed, we can't let them do as they please. Qing Emperor nodded. Night Sorrow arrived at the black-yellow Great World. What greeted him was a celebratory feast. He had killed the 9th rank corpse of the Celestial Sect, which was a great event. It could be said that he had brought stability to the reincarnation world. Night Sorrow was also very happy. He drank and chatted with others. Brother Tang, you don't need to worry. Now that we have besieged this place, they have only occupied a small area. The origin of the black-yellow Great World should not be damaged too much, Qing Emperor said. The main thing is that we don't have a solution. The area covered by the demon blood chi cannot be broken in. We can only defend passively. That's quite worrying. Tang, Jianfeng sighed. Our legions have formed an encirclement. That is to say, we have stabilized our position. The next thing we need to deal with is the demon blood evil bugs. Then, the problem will be solved, Night Sorrow said. We don't even know what the demon blood evil bugs are. It's also a big problem to deal with them. The Wu Ling Mountain Master's words were full of helplessness. He knew clearly that if it were not for Night Sorrow and the other Lords of Heaven guarding here, the black-yellow Great World would have fallen. There is nothing in the world that is unsolvable. It's just a matter of whether we have found it or not. So what if the demon blood evil bugs are here? They should have a nemesis. Even if they don't have one, they should have one, Night Sorrow said. BC Network, T-Head hashtag S6-inch that makes sense. Let's think about it carefully. There must be a solution. The Sea King Palace Master nodded. After drinking some wine, Night Sorrow's original body entered the Haoyan Godly Pagoda to continue cultivating. He had not finished refining the 3rd drop of soul cultivation liquid. He still needed to continue comprehending his willpower. That was the foundation that determined his strength. After cultivating for a few days, Tang Jianfeng came to Night Sorrow, who was cultivating in front of the formation. City Lord Tang, you have something to do. Night Sorrow stood up. Yes, we have discussed it. If we want to deal with the demon blood evil bugs, we have to catch 1 or 2. Then, we can study them and find out where the flaws are. The rest of us can't do it. So, I can only come to you, Tang Jianfeng said. If they wanted to catch the demon blood evil bugs, they had to go to the enemy's demon blood chi camp to do it. No one else could do it. Putting aside the fact that Xie Bing was a half-step martial monarch realm expert, they could not even contend against those heaven monarch realm generals. The demon blood chi was the enemy's world. All right, I will go in later and catch 2. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. He understood that he had to do it. After resting for a day, Night Sorrow's original body moved in the middle of the night. While his clone was still cultivating, his original body set off. Night Sorrow stayed in the Haotian godly pagoda and controlled it to enter the demon blood chi camp. He was very careful. This time, he was not going to fight. He was going to get the demon blood evil bugs. When using his soul power to investigate, Night Sorrow also avoided some areas, which are the areas where Xie Bing was. Experts were very sensitive. If Night Sorrow's soul power swept over, Xie Bing might discover it. On this point, Night Sorrow could avoid it. His clone outside the demon blood chi camp would use his soul power to sweep around openly. He would not go behind anyone's back. After locking on to Xie Bing's location, Night Sorrow's original body's soul power would not touch that area. It would not be a big problem to investigate the other areas. The demon blood chi domain did not occupy a large area. It was only a few 100,000 miles in radius. The army was facing off against the black-yellow great world. There was also an empty area behind them. However, there was King's team patrolling. Night Sorrow controlled the Haotian godly pagoda to fly. It was very fast. With the powerful soul power wrapped around it, there were no energy waves. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow came out of the Haotian godly pagoda. He used his energy to seal off the area. With a wave of his right arm, he cut open the spatial barrier and flew in the spatial turbulence. He wanted to find the demon blood evil bugs. As for where they were, he did not know. A few 100,000 miles in radius was nothing to Night Sorrow. After searching for a while, Night Sorrow found something. It was a special area. There were many people guarding it. There were heaven monarchs and sovereigns. There were demon blood evil bugs flying in the sky. However, Night Sorrow felt that it was unrealistic to catch them secretly. He had to go out and kill them. After catching the demon blood evil bugs, he would retreat immediately. Even if Xie Bing came, he could escape. Outside the demon blood chi, it did not matter how he fought. Chapter 1463. Although the devil blood evil insects were called insects, they were not. They were huge, about the size of 2 human heads. Their bodies were covered in blood-red scales, and blood-red mist was coming out of their mouths. Their flying speed was also extremely fast. Their wings and claws were as sharp as steel blades. Their cultivation bases were all at the void inquiry stage. After Night Sorrow appeared, the first thing he did was to open the gate of the Haotian Divine Pagoda. An energy vortex appeared, wrapping around 20 devil blood evil insects and pulling them into the pagoda. While capturing the insects, Night Sorrow's Samsara performed the great Emperor Samsara slash at the heavenly monarch who was guarding this place. Night Sorrow's appearance was too sudden. None of the guards had expected him to appear. All the members of the evil army had some impression of Night Sorrow. When they saw Night Sorrow, the heavenly monarch was stunned for a moment. Then, he turned around and ran. At the same time, he shouted for his men to inform the evil soldiers. The heavenly monarch ran very fast. However, the halo created by Night Sorrow's great Emperor Samsara slash was even faster. It directly enveloped him. "Break!" the heavenly monarch roared. The energy in his body rushed towards his head. Night Sorrow did not say anything. The great Emperor's Samsara slash was effective. Next, his Samsara, which was filled with void energy, performed the void extreme point kill, directly penetrating the heavenly monarch's head and shattering his spirit sea. Yishang waved his arm and stored the heaven monarch's corpse into his storage ring. He had to study the corpse as well. The energy vortex in the Haotian Divine Pagoda was spinning. As Night Sorrow flew, he kept hundreds of devil blood evil insects into the pagoda. Night Sorrow did not kill those sovereigns. He was not interested in them. While flying, he kept collecting the devil blood evil insects into the Haotian Divine Pagoda. The more he collected, the more damage he could inflict on his enemies. As he flew, he collected them as he flew. Night Sorrow flew back. After flying halfway, Night Sorrow was blocked by an evil soldier. The evil soldier received the report from his subordinates and came to intercept him. At this moment, Night Sorrow's movements were huge. His energy was in a state of eruption. Thus, the evil soldier immediately detected him. "Damn it, you dare to come in? I'll kill you today." Xie Bing was very angry because Night Sorrow was looking down on him. He also knew that one of his heaven monarchs had fallen. "You've wanted to kill me for a long time. Can you do it?" "Shameless boasting," Night Sorrow replied. Then, he used the will of space-time to protect his body. His protective barrier slashed in front of evil, drawing an arc in the air, dodging the evil weapon, and quickly retreating. I'm going to read it now. Seeing Night Sorrow's speed, the evil soldier's expression changed. He continued to chase. Actually, it was just a chase. Killing had nothing to do with the current situation. In terms of speed, the evil soldiers had no advantage, so they could only keep up with them. After a short while, Night Sorrow rushed out of the area covered by the demonic blood chi. He then turned around and looked at Evil Soldier. His other doppelganger also rushed over and merged with his original body. Not chasing anymore, Night Sorrow looked at Evil Soldier who was standing at the edge of the demonic blood chi and asked. His battle saber pointed at Night Sorrow. Then, Evil Soldier flashed back into the demonic blood chi. Outside the demonic blood chi, he couldn't defeat Night Sorrow. Tang Jianfeng, Qing Emperor, and the others all rushed over. "Since we were discovered, shall we find another opportunity?" Tang Jianfeng asked. "Yes, we were discovered. However, the results were not bad. We caught some demonic blood insects and killed a heaven monarch." Night Sorrow smiled and said. He noticed that when Tang Jianfeng spoke, he was a little disappointed. Killed a heaven monarch? Tang Jianfeng, heaven monarch Shinhu, and the others were speechless. Since when were heaven monarchs so trashy? They were heaven monarchs too. In the big tent, Night Sorrow took the tea from Dachira and took a sip. "The other party has a lot of demonic blood insects. I caught 1/3 of them in the stronghold. You guys can study them later," Night Sorrow said. "There are many alchemists among us. Let's study the demonic blood insects and see what can restrain them. If we can develop a specific poison, we can solve this crisis." The Sea King Palace Lord nodded. Then, Night Sorrow took out a few demonic blood insect from the Hao Ian Godly Detective and gave them to the Sea King Palace Lord, Tang Jianfeng, and the others. The demonic blood insects could devour the origin energy and release the demonic blood chi. They were very tough. Now, Night Sorrow was using the Hao Ian Godly Pagoda to suppress them. They were suppressed in the first level of the Hao Ian Godly Pagoda. "Okay, we will study them slowly." Tang Jianfeng nodded to Night Sorrow. He had mixed feelings. They couldn't solve the problem in the black-yellow great world, so they had to rely on Night Sorrow. "Don't be afraid of killing them. I have a lot of them. This time, I didn't just catch them for research. I caught hundreds of them. It will be a blow to the demonic blood insects. Also, you guys should study what kind of race they are. I feel that they're different from us." Night Sorrow took out the corpse of the heaven monarch he killed. The Sea King Palace Lord took a look and said, "They look like humans, but they are not. They don't have an elixir field. They have a lot of energy and are very strong. In this case, our strategy of attacking their elixir fields is useless." That's right. Attacking their elixir fields won't hurt their energy foundation. But fortunately, their spirit sea is the same as ours. They are afraid of attacks, Tang Jianfeng added. "No wonder our saber didn't work when we attacked their abdomen. Their energy source is in their head," the Wu Ling Mountain Master said. "Night Sorrow, you have become a nightmare for heaven monarchs. Many heaven monarchs have fallen in your hands." Lord of Heaven Precious Fragrance said, "I don't want to kill, but if anyone dares to touch the people around me and everything I want to protect, I will kill them," Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow had killed 3 heaven monarchs in the Devil Blood Realm. This was an amazing record. They were heaven monarchs. It had been a long time since something like this happened in the 3 world groups. "You guys take this corpse for research. I will keep the resources." Night Sorrow smiled. He had killed a heaven monarch, so he naturally took the storage ring. Night Sorrow took out the corpse of the heaven monarch for everyone to study. He wanted to study the corpse of the 9th rank first. The Imperial Realm was a legend. The Shinwu Great World, the Reincarnation Great World, and the Reincarnation Great World Group hadn't had a single Imperial Realm cultivator in countless years. However, Night Sorrow didn't have the time. His original body was cultivating willpower, which was related to the improvement of his realm and level. It couldn't be delayed. As for his doppelganger, he had to cultivate his fighting spirit. Therefore, this matter had to be pushed back. The evil soldiers were furious. They had lost a large number of demon blood evil bugs, which had brought them a lot of trouble in conquering the black-yellow great world. If they couldn't devour the origin energy of the world, then what was the point of conquering the black-yellow great world? Hundreds of demon blood evil bugs were adults. It would take time for them to reproduce. The evil soldiers were full of killing intent. Night Sorrow had disrupted their plans. Not only did he stop them from attacking, but he also delayed the conquering of the Devil Blood realm. Speak. First update. Chapter 1464. Battle. The enraged, evil soldier decided to battle tomorrow and fight to the death with Night Sorrow. Knowing that Night Sorrow's original body and clone were both strong, evil soldier's original body in the Devil Blood domain had rushed over. He had also gathered the commanders of the Evil Soldier Legion and the Heaven Emanations Legion. There were a total of 16 Heaven Monarchs. The Evil Soldier Legion had 9 Heaven Monarchs. The Heaven Emanations Legion had 10 Heaven Monarchs, but 3 were left behind to guard the Devil Blood City. 7 came. Evil Soldier had decided to fight to the death tomorrow. Night Sorrow stayed in the tent and drank tea. At this moment, Tang Jianfeng, the Qing Emperor, and Heaven Lord Shun who arrived. Master, the 2 Heaven Monarchs are here. Have a seat. Night Sorrow greeted them. Night Sorrow, we found some problems. When we were studying the Devil Blood evil worms, we accidentally killed one. As a result, its energy dissipated. The dissipated energy contained the origin energy of the black-yellow great world and left behind the Devil Blood air sac. This means that the Devil Blood evil worms are an indispensable part of their attack on the black-yellow great world. Now that you have stolen their Devil Blood evil worms, they might be angry and start a battle, Tang Jianfeng said. Then let's fight. I will deal with the evil demon commander. I don't care about the rest. You guys make the arrangements, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow didn't want to trouble himself. He would do what he needed to do and leave the rest to others. With so many Heaven Monarchs around, it wasn't appropriate for him to say anything. All right, we will gather all the manpower we can. Now, other than here, the other places are safe. We will focus on the battle here, Heaven Lord Shun who said. Worried that Night Sorrow had stolen the Devil Blood evil worms and that the Devil Blood domain would be angry, Heaven Lord Shun Hu and the Qing Emperor immediately gathered all the Heaven Monarchs here. Q. Look at F in section RV% of the chapter, Night Sorrow. You have become smarter. Much wiser, Dachura said with a smile. What do you mean? Night Sorrow asked. I've learned to make myself simpler. I've learned to avoid some responsibilities that I don't have to shoulder, Dachura said with a smile. Actually, there's only so much a person can do. Just do what you need to do. I can fight the demon marshal, so I'll take care of him. As for the other opponents, Master and the others can do their best. Night Sorrow looked at the command tent and said, Soon, all the other Heaven Monarchs had arrived at the Sea Monarch City in the black-yellow great world. Night Sorrow didn't enter the Hao Ian Divine Pagoda. He merged with his clone and stayed outside the Devil Blood Chi to cultivate his battle intent. However, he felt that the Devil Blood Chi was a little weak. This situation made him realize that it was because he had stolen hundreds of demonic blood insects. The next day, there was not a trace of sunlight nor a trace of clouds. The sky was still the same sky. Energy clouds were rolling in the sky, bringing with them an oppressive, killing intent. The rolling energy clouds with a chilling aura constantly collided with the Devil Blood Chi. Confrontation. This was a confrontation of power. Night Sorrow felt a little stirred as he watched. The battle intent on his body brought with it a chilling aura. Just then, the Devil Blood Chi shook, and Evil Soldier appeared outside the Devil Blood Chi. Hee hee. It seems you really can't afford to lose and want to fight to the death with us. Fine. Come, let me see how strong you are. Night Sorrow waved his hand and looked at Evil Soldier. Since I'm here, I can naturally flatten your black-yellow great world, Evil Soldier said coldly. Big words, but they are useless. It depends on your strength. Today, I'll make it clear. You caused trouble. Yesterday wasn't considered killing. From today onwards, I, Night Sorrow, will start a massacre. I'll kill all of you. Then, I'll go to your demon blood world. Night Sorrow's battle intent rippled in all directions. The chilling aura in his battle intent resonated with the energy clouds in the sky. Who are you trying to scare? Today, I'm going to kill. Evil Soldier was furious. Night Sorrow, a monarch, didn't give him any face. He had never been so humiliated. Just then, people appeared behind Evil Soldier. 16 Heaven Monarchs lined up, followed by 2 legions. However, the Devil Blood Domain didn't have the upper hand in terms of manpower. Now, all the Heaven Monarchs from the 3 great worlds, except for Yuan Dao Heaven Monarch, had arrived. They were walking out of the teleportation array. They were originally in the Sea Monarch City. When they got the news that a battle was about to break out, they rushed over. Evil Soldier was shocked. He only checked the camp outside the Devil Blood Chi that was confronting the Evil Soldier Legion. He didn't estimate how many people were there. Come on, if you want to fight, we'll fight with you. Someone, hold him back. I'll kill first. Night Sorrow's body shook. His original body and doppelganger split into 2. Then, they drew 2 arcs in the air and rushed toward the enemy camp. He used his ultimate move right away. Night Sorrow's original body used the Great Emperor's Samsara Slash, while his doppelganger used the Great Death Destruction Slash at the 2 Evil Soldier Legion's commanders. At the same time, he used the Soul Destruction Slash. Damn it! Evil Soldier's body flashed. A saber aura slashed between Night Sorrow's original body and his target. He knew that his subordinates couldn't stop Night Sorrow. He had to take action. At this moment, Night Sorrow's battle intent was completely released. The space-time energy protected his body. His body flashed and dodged the saber aura from Evil Soldier. He went around the saber aura and continued to attack his target. However, his target had already retreated. At this moment, the Heaven Monarchs from both sides moved. They started to fight fiercely. Night Sorrow's original body didn't catch up with his target. Instead, he started to fight with Evil Soldier. At the same time, his doppelganger flashed and attacked the Heaven Monarchs from the Devil Blood Domain. What's going on? Isn't Junior Brother the Merit Saint? Why is there such a strong killing intent? This shouldn't be. Qing Wan, who was preparing for the battle with the 9 Heavens Legion, was very surprised. So what if he's the Merit Saint? The virtuous Merit Saint is also angry. Now, these people have touched his bottom line. Xia Cheng said, Uncle Summer, Junior Brother is very strong. He killed a Heaven Monarch. Killing a Heaven Monarch is as easy as taking something out of his pocket. Qing Wan was very excited when she saw Night Sorrow kill a Heaven Monarch. Summer City didn't say anything. He didn't expect Night Sorrow to be so strong. Evil Soldier's original body and doppelganger surrounded and attacked Night Sorrow's original body. However, they couldn't do anything because of Night Sorrow's speed and strength. At this moment, Night Sorrow had already killed a Heaven Monarch. The situation was very unfavorable for the Devil Blood Domain. They couldn't let Night Sorrow continue to kill. The Evil Soldier's doppelganger stopped attacking Night Sorrow's original body. Instead, they attacked Night Sorrow's doppelganger. Hold him back, Night Sorrow shouted. He wanted to kill now. Therefore, he didn't want Evil Soldier to stop him. The Wu Ling Mountain Master and Heaven Monarch Shun, whose doppelganger flew towards Evil Soldier's doppelganger. They knew what Night Sorrow meant. Now, they had to hold back Evil Soldier's doppelganger and give Night Sorrow a chance to increase his victory. There was no need to talk about the sovereigns. There were many sovereigns in both domains. However, there was one less Heaven Monarch to kill. At this moment, Evil Soldier felt the pressure. His original body was at a disadvantage in the battle with Knight Sorrow's original body. If this continued, he wouldn't be able to hold on. Finish. The second chapter has arrived. Thank you, brother. ZZ. F Xiao Xiao unblocked yesterday's chapter. Chapter 1465. The evil soldier found it hard to accept, and he couldn't understand. The last time he fought with Knight Sorrow was 2 years ago. Back then, he could suppress Knight Sorrow, but he couldn't kill him. But now, things were different. Knight Sorrow was fast, and his attacks were powerful. He had been suppressed. 2 years, almost 3 years. Knight Sorrow had cultivated in the Haotian godly pagoda for more than 100 years. His realm had advanced from the middle-rank monarch to the high-rank monarch. His willpower had also increased, so his attacks had been greatly improved. Knight Sorrow had also consumed the soul cultivation liquid, which made his soul power stronger. When the soul power was mixed with the genuine qi, the power was naturally stronger. This was due to the improvement of his realm and soul power. Besides, Knight Sorrow's fighting will had also improved, which made the evil soldier's suppression ineffective. Knight Sorrow's body was strong, and his attributes were strong. Even though the evil soldier was a half-step to the Imperial realm, he didn't have any advantage. Instead, he was at a disadvantage. Retreat. Seeing another Lord of Heaven being killed by Knight Sorrow, the evil soldier gave the order. He had no other choice. He couldn't defeat Lord of Heaven Shenhu and the Wu Ling Mountain Master now. The Wu Ling Mountain Master had the golden body of colored glaze. Even if he was pushed back, he wouldn't be seriously injured. Lord of Heaven Shenhu's soul power was strong, so they complemented each other. When the evil soldier attacked head-on, the Wu Ling Mountain Master would fight back. The unique skill of the evil weapon contained a soul attack. Lord of Heaven Shenwu rushed to the front of the Wu Ling Mountain Master to fend off the attack. Both Lord of Heaven Shenhu and the Wu Ling Mountain Master were wounded, but they would not be killed in a short time. Knight Sorrow? By now, Knight Sorrow had killed 2 Lords of Heaven. If the evil soldier didn't retreat, more Lords of Heaven would die. After forcing the Wu Ling Mountain Master and Lord of Heaven Shenhu to retreat, the evil soldier's doppelganger went back to the demon blood qi. Then, the doppelganger went back to the demon blood qi. Then, the doppelganger went back to the demon blood qi. Remember, don't boast to me. It's meaningless. Knight Sorrow shouted to the evil soldier. Q is the only true Z version of Q. The others are pirated / If looks could kill, Knight Sorrow would have been killed by Xie Bing countless times. Xie Bing hated Knight Sorrow so much that his teeth were numb because of Knight Sorrow's existence. The evil soldiers retreated with their army. After leaving behind the 2 Heaven Monarch corpses, Xie Bing led the army back to the Devil Blood Qi. If he couldn't take down Knight Sorrow, there was no chance for him to win the battle. Your Honor, what's going on? Why is his killing power so great? Shattered Moon was a little puzzled. Even if it was the void element, there was still a huge gap between a sovereign and a Heaven Monarch. His battle intent is very strong. You also know that if a Heaven Monarch wants to become an emperor, he has to control the power of heaven and earth. His fighting spirit is in its embryonic form. His fighting spirit can resist the suppression of my worldly momentum. In other words, my cultivation level is useless to him, said Evil Soldier. What should we do now? Asked Shattered Moon. If our master is not in closed-door cultivation, we can kill him easily. But now, our master is in closed-door cultivation. We can't count on that side. We can only wait until my senior brother comes out. We are not strong enough to take them down now. Xie Bing exhaled. He was really annoyed now. After thinking for a while, Xie Bing decided to defend for the time being. As long as they could defend and wait for Lai Bing to come, the 2 of them could work together to solve the current predicament. Lai Bing returned to the core of the Devil Blood Qi, where the Devil Blood insects were breeding, and started to set up defenses. The camp of the Black-Yellow Great World was full of jubilation. They had killed 2 Heaven Monarchs in one battle. This was a great victory. What was a Heaven Monarch? It was the most powerful force besides Xie Bing. It had been many years since anyone had heard of a heaven monarch's death. Tang Jianfeng arranged people to set up a banquet for the celebration. Now he knew what to do. The most difficult part of this realm war was that they couldn't restrain Xie Bing. As long as they could restrain Xie Bing, a top warrior, the following problems wouldn't be too big. As for the casualties, only the doppelgangers of the Wu Ling Mountain Master and Lord of Heaven Shenhu were injured in the battle with Xie Bing. At the Lord of Heaven realm, as long as their origin wasn't hurt, it wouldn't be a serious injury. It wouldn't be difficult for them to recover with some top-level treasures. Night Sorrow, 5 heaven monarchs died in your hands. You must be heartbroken, Tang Jianfeng said with a smile. Night Sorrow only nodded with a smile. He was quite satisfied with the result. That evil demon commander is very powerful, but we only restrained his original body or doppelgangers. It's impossible for him to finish killing us quickly. But that's not the case for their heaven monarchs facing Night Sorrow, the Wu Ling Mountain Master said with a smile. The Wu Ling Mountain Master was smiling, but he was shocked. He and Lord of Heaven Shenwu were only defending and restraining Xie Bing's doppelgangers. It was already very difficult for them. But Night Sorrow's original body did have the upper hand in the battle with Xie Bing's original body. Based on our current strength, we can stabilize the situation. Besides, I've been cultivating outside the demon blood chi for almost 3 years. I'm more sensitive to the demon blood chi. After I caught hundreds of demon blood evil worms yesterday, the density of the demon blood chi has decreased, Night Sorrow said, after taking a sip of wine. Then what about the strategy to deal with demon blood evil worms? Tang Jianfeng looked at Night Sorrow. Lord of Heaven Monarchs, please make the arrangements. I'll act freely later. My doppelgangers will be in the open, while my original body will be in the dark. We'll attack the demon blood evil worms, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Night Sorrow, you're now our anchor for this realm war. It's important to be careful. We can't be ambushed by the enemy, Tang Jianfeng said. This was what everyone was thinking. As long as Night Sorrow was fine and could hold off Xie Bing, they wouldn't lose this realm war. If something happened to Night Sorrow, then the allied forces of the 3 realms would lose. They wouldn't be able to resist the slaughter of a half-step Imperial Realm expert. After drinking, Night Sorrow returned to his tent. He had some plans in mind. Night Sorrow planned to send his doppelgangers into the demon blood chi to play with Xie Bing. As long as Xie Bing chased after him and didn't defend the area where demon blood evil worms were, he could appear with his original body and use the Hao Ian Godly Pagoda to catch demon blood evil worms. The more demon blood evil worms he caught, the greater the damage to the demon blood region. Dechira asked about Night Sorrow's plan. Night Sorrow was her husband. Naturally, she was most worried about his safety. Night Sorrow told Dechira about his plan. The difficult part is whether your doppelganger can withstand the combined attacks of Xie Bing's original body and doppelganger, Dechira said. If it's a head-on battle, then it'll be more difficult. I won't fight with him. I won't even come into close contact with him. My doppelganger is out in the open while my original body is in the spatial turbulence. As long as he wants to attack my doppelganger, then it'll be my original body's chance to attack, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Actually, I just want to live a peaceful life with you. In the city in the sky, we can drink tea and stroll around peacefully, living a peaceful life every day, Dechira said in a low voice. There's always some responsibility when you're alive. If there's a responsibility, then you'll have to bear it. If we settle the demon blood region this time, then there won't be so many troubles in the future, Night Sorrow said. Actually, there are some things that Night Sorrow didn't say. The Celestial Sect had rank 9 skeletons. That meant that they might have rank 9 Emperor Realm experts. The danger was still there. Speak. Third update. Chapter 1466. The king was immortal, let alone heaven monarchs and martial emperors. How did the rank 9 skeleton appear? Naturally, it was killed. If the Celestial Sect could obtain the rank 9 skeleton, it meant that they had the ability to kill martial emperors. This was the most terrifying point. After chatting with his wife affectionately for a while, Knight Sorrow decided to set off. He wanted to strike while the iron was hot and trick the Devil Blood Domain's allied army. Remember, you are everything to the family and also everything to me. Nothing can happen to you. If you can't handle it, just run. I'll say it again. As long as we are alive, losing doesn't mean losing. Dechira reminded Knight Sorrow. I know. You are everything to me. I miss the family and love each and every one of you. Knight Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Dechira. After that, Knight Sorrow left the tent. His doppelganger and his original body left together. The two of them were very close to each other and were separated by a spatial barrier. One was in the real world, while the other was flying in the spatial turbulence. Knight Sorrow flew toward the stronghold where he caught the Devil Blood evil insects last time. There were sporadic Devil Blood evil insects along the way. Knight Sorrow also started to catch them. Every time he caught one, there would be one less insect. Knight Sorrow naturally couldn't hide what he was doing. He was already discovered by the patrolling Evil Soldier Legion and was alerted. It didn't matter. Knight Sorrow wasn't afraid of being discovered. He caught the Devil Blood evil insects while flying. If anyone blocked his way, he would kill them directly. His style of doing things was extremely domineering. Knight Sorrow shook off the scouts who were chasing him and flew toward the stronghold where the Devil Blood evil insects were. The closer he got to the stronghold, the more Devil Blood evil insects there were. However, before Knight Sorrow could get close, the evil soldier came out. He naturally couldn't let Knight Sorrow get close to the stronghold. That was the foundation of their attack. He had already ordered the Devil Blood evil insects to quickly reproduce. If the stronghold was damaged, it would delay this realm war and cause it to be unable to proceed smoothly. Both Evil Soldier and his doppelganger appeared and charged towards Knight Sorrow's doppelganger. Knight Sorrow's doppelganger changed direction and started to fly at the same speed as the Evil Soldier. Because he was too fast, the Evil Soldier should not chase after him. If he was too slow, he would be in danger. He wanted to lure the Evil Soldier away from this area. As Xiao Chun flew, Knight Sorrow caught a few Demon Bloodline evil insects. Every time he caught one, the other party would have one fewer. I, Evil Soldier, swear that I will kill you. Evil Soldier roared. In the past realm wars, demonic blood chi was practically a forbidden zone for opponents. Their strength would be suppressed, and those who dared to enter would die. But Knight Sorrow's fighting spirit could solve this problem. Without being suppressed, his strength would remain the same as before. Stop shouting. It's meaningless. Knight Sorrow continued to fly and capture the Devil Blood evil insects. However, he also discovered a problem. The difference between the Dragon Cauldron and the Hao Ian Divine Pagoda was truly huge. The Hao Ian Divine Pagoda could easily suppress the Demon Bloodline evil insects, but the Dragon Cauldron could not. Even a weapon spirit of the Dragon Cauldron could not appear. The Demon Bloodline evil insects would devour the weapon spirit's energy. Currently, Xiao Chun was relying on Knight Sorrow's own energy to suppress them. Knight Sorrow and Evil Soldier, one flying and the other chasing, continued in the demonic blood chi. At this moment, Knight Sorrow's original body confirmed that Evil Soldier had left the stronghold's area through his doppelganger's location. His soul power erupted and began to search. He wanted to find the place with the most demon bloodline evil insects and launch a ruthless attack. After searching, Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He found a nest of the demon bloodline evil insects. He also found the mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects. The mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects was bigger in size. Its body was round, and its claws and short wings were spread out like a dandelion. At this moment, it was reproducing with a male demon bloodline evil insect. Its mouth was dripping with saliva, which made people feel disgusted. In addition, there was a line of male demon bloodline evil insects that were waiting to reproduce with it. Knight Sorrow was a little curious as to why the mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects would behave like this. He did not know that the demon bloodline evil insects were called dandelions by Evil Soldier and the others. It was a special existence among the demon bloodline evil insects, as it did not have any males. The mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insect had to reproduce countless times before it could give birth to a descendant with the same genes. In other words, it only had the mother but not the father because there were too many fathers. There were tens of thousands of fathers. The mother insect of the demon bloodline evil insects was very powerful. Ordinary demon bloodline evil insects were at the void inquiry stage, while the high-level ones were at the venerable realm. However, this demon bloodline evil insect of the demon bloodline evil dandelion evil insect had the cultivation base of a saint king. Kill. This mother insect must not be left alive. Night Sorrow appeared and directly executed the void extreme kill while the heaven monarchs were not alert. The reincarnation sword pierced through the mother insect's back. Then, a halo burst out and directly annihilated the insect. Not even its bones were left. Then, the towering Hao-Ian divine pagoda opened its doors. An energy whirlpool appeared and sucked in all the demon bloodline evil insects in the stronghold. After capturing the demon bloodline evil insects, Night Sorrow did not fight with the Heaven Monarch Realm sovereigns in the evil soldier army. He protected himself with the will of time and space, and the slicer flew rapidly. Head of the P, one version today's harvest was great enough. There was no need to continue fighting. Night Sorrow had already noticed that the evil soldier army was no longer chasing after his clones and was returning to help him. They were going to stop him. After shaking off the pursuers, Night Sorrow tore the space apart and entered the spatial turbulence. In such a situation, it was not easy for the other party to detect or stop him. It was not that Night Sorrow was afraid. It was that there were too many variables when fighting in the demon blood chi. Who knew what trump cards the other party had? Some unnecessary risks had to be avoided. When the evil soldier army returned to the stronghold, he saw that the demon bloodline evil insect's nest was destroyed and the mother insect was killed. Only scattered demon bloodline evil insects were left. The evil soldier army roared angrily. He was extremely angry now. He had never suffered such a loss in countless years. There were only 2 demon bloodline evil insect colonies in the entire demon blood domain. More than half of the dandelion colony had been destroyed. If the remaining larvae did not have the potential to become the mother insect, then this colony would be completely destroyed. After exiting the demon blood chi region, Night Sorrow went to the Alliance army camp. He waved his arm and released all the demon bloodline evil insects from the dragon cauldron. Under everyone's shocked eyes, the dragon cauldron flew up and smashed down several times, killing all the demon bloodline evil insects trapped by the energy. The origin energy that was absorbed appeared and returned to heaven and earth. You caught so many again? Misty Rain looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Mistress, isn't this disciple's result not bad? That's not all. I also killed a mother insect. It will take some time for the demon bloodline evil insects to recover. It will be impossible for them to spread. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was in a good mood at this moment. It's not just not bad, it's beautiful. Lord Precious Fragrance also smiled. Every time Night Sorrow made a move, he would solve a big problem. Next, the demon blood chi retreated, and the area it could cover became smaller. The situation stabilized. Night Sorrow also planned to study the rank 9 skeleton. It was a threat from a celestial sect. Only by understanding the enemy could he take precautions. The rank 9 skeleton's skull originally had an array, but it had been destroyed by Night Sorrow. Looking at the rank 9 skeleton, Night Sorrow had a different feeling in his heart. Speak. The 4th update has been completed. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your support. Chapter 1467. Suppressing and Valiant. This was what Night Sorrow felt. What level was a rank 9 Imperial Realm cultivator? He was a cultivator who stood at the peak. In this world where the strong were respected, on the path of cultivation, even a lord of heaven was nothing in front of an imperial realm cultivator. Knight Soro's situation was special. Take the first battle of the Realm War as an example. Tang Jianfeng, Lord of Heaven Xinhu, and the Sea King Prefecture's master fought Xie Bing, a cultivator who was half a step away from the imperial realm. In the end, the Sea King Prefecture's master and his clone were killed. From this point of analysis, one could see how terrifying a real imperial realm cultivator was. He was a real giant. However, there was no record of rank 9 in the chaotic realm formed by the Xinwu Great World, the Reincarnation Great World, and the Black-Yellow Great World. Therefore, there were some blind spots. Because he didn't understand, Knight Sorrow had gone to study this rank 9 skeleton. When he had just started cultivating in the 9 regions world, Knight Sorrow thought that he could dominate the overall situation after becoming a venerable. Later on, he found that it was not enough. When he thought that becoming a saint was enough, it was still not enough. Along the way, Knight Sorrow found that as his level increased, the world he faced was different. His strength was still not enough. Knight Sorrow probed with his soul power and was shocked to take a step back. The energy contained in the skeleton was extremely terrifying. It also had the power of Sure. Knight Sorrow's soul power was shocked as soon as it went in. The others shook their heads and exhaled. Knight Sorrow knew that this was the power of a rank 9 skeleton. His clone had used all his strength to pierce the air, but it could only pierce half a foot into the skeleton. It was obvious that the energy contained in the skeleton was very strong. The soul was destroyed, but the genuine chi energy in the skeleton was still flowing. This was a rank 9 skeleton. Knight Sorrow felt that he had a training partner. If the devil blood chi could not continue to temper his fighting spirit, he could also stimulate and strengthen his fighting spirit cultivation by fighting with the rank 9 skeleton. After resting for 2 days, Knight Sorrow went to see Tang Jianfeng. "Come, have a seat. You've been busy cultivating all this time, so you didn't have time to come over." Tang Jianfeng greeted him. At the same time, he personally made tea. City Lord Tang is too polite. Knight Sorrow nodded and sat down. "Knight Sorrow, you're so domineering. I've seen many ruthless people over the years, but you're the only one as ruthless as you," Tang Yi, who was in her father's camp, said. "Haha, senior sister Tang, you flatter me." Knight Sorrow shook his head. "It's not Malzahn. You're the one who changed the situation. If you hadn't appeared out of nowhere, we wouldn't have been able to win this realm war no matter how hard we tried. Furthermore, you've resolved the crisis for every major world group," Tang Jianfeng said. That was the truth. Bai Taisong of the Xinwu Great World was unstoppable when Knight Sorrow hadn't taken action. He had even killed other Lords of Heaven. It was Knight Sorrow who had defeated him and forced him to retreat, resolving the crisis. The crisis of the Samsara Great World was the Celestial Sect. No one could resist the rank 9 skeleton of the Celestial Sect. If it hadn't been resolved, the Samsara Great World Chi of origin would have been plundered, and the world would have been destroyed. However, Knight Sorrow had also resolved this problem. The crisis of the Black-Yellow Great World had not been resolved yet. However, this crisis had been contained. Of course, Knight Sorrow was the most indispensable link. After drinking tea, Knight Sorrow told Tang Jianfeng the purpose of his visit. He wanted to know how many demonic blood insects were needed. If there weren't many, he would keep some and kill the rest. He still had many demonic blood insects in his Hao Yin godly pagoda. Tang Jianfeng meant to keep some for research and kill the rest. He didn't want to trouble Knight Sorrow, so he took out his space treasure and transferred the demonic blood insects to it. Knight Sorrow reminded Tang Jianfeng that the demonic blood insects devoured spiritual chi. He also had to pay attention to the storage of his space treasure. However, it was easy for Tang Jianfeng to solve this problem. He was using a space treasure without a device spirit. The demonic blood insects couldn't do anything to him. After solving the problem of the demonic blood insects, Knight Sorrow returned to his tent. Dachura looked at Knight Sorrow and asked, "Have you told them?" "Yes, I've told them to let City Lord Tang and the others deal with it." What I need to do is to contend with the strongest person on the other side, Knight's Sorrow said. Knight's Sorrow, the problem isn't too serious right now. Don't feel too much pressure. You've already done well, said Dechira. Aluo, the current situation is unstable, and there are other unstable factors. None of our three great world groups have ever produced a single emperor, but the other side has. That fellow who calls himself Siebing is only a commander of a legion, but he's already very close to being a half-step emperor. Then what about their leader? Night Sorrow looked at Dechira. Dechira looked at Night Sorrow. Because Night Sorrow and the others were present, she hadn't thought too much about it. Now that she heard Night Sorrow's words, she was stunned. Siebing was the commander of the legion. The chief of the Devil Blood region must be stronger than him. Otherwise, how could he suppress Siebing? Who could suppress a half-step Monarch Realm expert? He must be a rank 9 Monarch Realm expert. Then what should we do? If the other side is really at the Emperor Realm, how can we resist them? Dechira looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. It's not impossible. I have the Haotian Godly Pagoda to help me with my cultivation. Because the Haotian Godly Pagoda can seize the fortune of heaven and earth, I don't have any bottlenecks. I need to complete my cultivation and enter the Lord of Heaven realm, Night Sorrow said. That's one way. The other is your Merit Sage body. When can you enter the Merit Sage level? This is also very important. I haven't seen the Merit Sage, but according to the records, the Merit Sage's words are law. He carries the rules and the momentum of heaven and earth. Maybe he can contend with a cultivator at the Emperor realm, Dechira said. Yishang nodded. Currently, he only lacked the merit of the Xuanhuan Great World. Normally, he would have already obtained it. However, the Xuanhuan Great World's origin was in danger and would not appear. Thus, he would not receive any merit, nor would he be recognized by the heavenly Tao. After talking with Dechira, Night Sorrow went into the Haotian Godly Pagoda to cultivate. His doppelganger continued to cultivate the fighting spirit. Night Sorrow had his own things to do. The battle and tactical arrangements were discussed by the other Lords of Heaven. After Tang Jianfeng, Qing Emperor, Lord of Heaven Shenhu, and the others discussed, they decided to shrink the encirclement and tighten the encirclement. The loss of the Devil Blood evil insects had greatly reduced the range of the Devil Blood Qi. Now, it only covered an area of 10,000 miles. The Alliance army could encircle and suppress it. As for the other side coming out to fight, it was not a big problem. Night Sorrow, who had cultivated the fighting spirit, could resist the evil soldiers. As for the other army commanders, the Alliance army could also contend with them and not be at a disadvantage. The situation was in a stalemate because neither side was responsible for the other. The army led by the evil soldiers could not continue to attack the territory of the Black-Yellow Great World. At the same time, the Black-Yellow Great World was still shrouded by the remaining Devil Blood Qi. They could not do anything to the army of the Devil Blood territory. Chapter 1468. Dechira was also cultivating intensely. Her original body was refining and fusing with everything that Dechira Chinensis had left behind. This required time, a large amount of time, as it involved her origin. It wasn't something that could be easily solved. Dechira's clone was the same as Night Sorrow. He was also comprehending aura. Cultivating aura wasn't that easy. Many heaven monarchs couldn't even take this step. In addition, there was a big gap between the killing intent aura and Night Sorrow's battle intent aura. After stabilizing for more than a year, Night Sorrow's will of nothingness advanced again, reaching 98%. At the same time, his will of space-time also reached the middle-grade monarch level. The advancement of his will of space-time was the advancement of Night Sorrow's body and talent bloodline. His body strength also increased to the middle-grade monarch level. Night Sorrow's original body and Dechira's original body would occasionally exchange cultivation insights in the Haotian Godly Pagoda. 50 years of cultivation in the Haotian Godly Pagoda was equivalent to 1 year in the outside world. The situation didn't change much. The area covered by the demonic blood aura was getting smaller and smaller. The Xianwang Ocean Worlds Alliance army had surrounded this area tightly. Night Sorrow, your original body should return to our 9 regions world. The Haoyi and Godly Pagoda's effects are so strong. You should let father, mother, and sisters into cultivate, Dachira said. Not for now. Chuyu, 9 senior sister, 6 senior sister, father, and mother are lacking realms. They need to stabilize their realms. In the past few years, no one lacked cultivation resources, which caused the situation of high cultivation but unstable realms. They need to stabilize their realms, Night Sorrow said. He was clear about his family situation. You're right. Your cultivation is increasing quickly, but your realms are stable. You've been through too many battles. They can't do it. Dachira nodded. My parents and Shu are less than 200 years old. They still have 10,000 years. If they can't do it in 10,000 years, I'll do everything I can to push them up. The only one who's lacking is Father Gu. Night Sorrow sighed. In recent years, Father Gu's cultivation had increased rapidly. He was already at the peak of supremacy. However, Night Sorrow knew that it was all due to the accumulation of resources. In terms of talent, he wasn't enough. It was mainly because he started late and missed the best time to build his foundation. Everyone has their own destiny. 10,000 years is not a long time for a cultivator, but it is enough for many things to change. In the past countless years, I have quietly stayed in the dark abyss. Sometimes, I even slept for 1,000 years. But in the past few years, you know how much has changed. I have a husband and a son. Mandela's face was full of happiness. Night Sorrows and Night Dachira. Yishang still lacked 2 points of willpower, so he continued his seclusion. Because the Devil Blood Chi had shrunk, Night Sorrow couldn't use the Devil Blood Chi to cultivate his fighting spirit. He used the pressure of the rank 9 skeleton to cultivate. Night Sorrow placed the 8-dragon cauldron in front of the tent. Then, he informed Qing Emperor and the others that he was going to cultivate. If there was anything, he could just shout outside the 8-dragon cauldron. After that, Night Sorrow entered the 8-dragon cauldron and constantly used his energy to stimulate the rank 9 skeleton. He used the momentum of heaven and earth released by the rank 9 skeleton to comprehend it. Night Sorrow was puzzled about how his doppelganger could comprehend and cultivate this fighting spirit. Normally, his doppelganger couldn't do it. However, Night Sorrow's doppelganger could. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow knew that this was because his soul had been baptized by the Yellow Springs River and had undergone some changes. It was a good thing that he could comprehend it. Lord Shun Hu and the others were very envious of Night Sorrow. They couldn't cultivate even if they wanted to. Sometimes they could only study absolute arts in seclusion. Update. Quick. On 0Y2. The 9 regions world was constantly expanding and advancing toward a great world. This was because the core of the sovereign origin could develop into a great world. There were some problems along the way. The great world had a group of worlds. Under the influence of the sovereign law, some spatial worlds would appear around it. After the 9 regions origin told Night Sorrow about this, Night Sorrow felt that it wasn't very appropriate. Currently, the Chaos Realm had 3 groups of worlds. Each group had 1,000 subordinate worlds. Once the sovereign law of the 9 regions world affected the structure of the Chaos Realm, it was hard to say what would happen. Night Sorrow wanted stability. He didn't want to break the current rules. After Night Sorrow communicated with the origin of the 9 zones world, he decided to control the influence of the sovereign law so that it wouldn't radiate outwards. He would use this energy to strengthen the world barrier and expand the 9 zones world. Finally, the 9 regions origin told Night Sorrow that the 9 regions world had already broken away from its original orbit. It could move on its own. If they wanted to prevent the surrounding spatial worlds from being affected and shattered by the sovereign law, the 9 regions world could move. The best location was the area in the middle of the 3 great worlds. It was a blank area. The 9 regions world could fill this gap. In addition, the 9 regions world could still move. When it truly became a great world, the heavenly Tao law would appear and its position would be fixed. After the 9 regions world's development was arranged, there were some simple matters. Ning Yun and Qi Yue got married. Ning Yun and Qi Yue originally planned to wait for the situation to stabilize before getting married. However, Night Sorrow didn't think so. There were always twists and turns. They couldn't delay their lives because of these things. The wedding was held in the 9 Layers building. Night Sorrow went back to preside over the wedding. Although the heavenly monarchs of the 3 realms couldn't go back to participate, they sent people close to them to participate and prepared congratulatory gifts. Ning Yun and Qi Yue's wedding was more grand than Sandalwood's and Night Sorrow's. This was because Night Sorrow was now the strongest person in the Chaos Realm. Everyone knew this. All the heavenly monarchs acknowledged this. Naturally, many people would participate in the wedding of his 2 disciples. Night Sorrow treated Ning Yun and Qi Yue like his own children. He taught them a lot before returning to the Xianhuang oceanic world to continue cultivating. Ning Yun and Qi Yue also went to the Xianhuang Great World. They followed the Qing Emperor and Misty Rain to increase their knowledge and experience. They were his grand disciples. The Qing Emperor took them with him. On this day, the Qing Emperor took the 2 of them on a tour and returned to the camp. He looked at the 8-dragon cauldron and shook his head. You are his master. You are the most outstanding disciples, but you are not the most outstanding master. He is under a lot of pressure, so he doesn't have time to guide you. It's not that he doesn't care about you. Grandmaster, we understand, Master. The 4 of us didn't receive as much guidance from Master as we did, said Ning Yun. Night Sorrow's 2 daughters and 2 sons were called junior brothers by Ning Yun and Qi Yue. Chapter 1469. Uncle has been through a lot these years, but we can't do anything to help him. July sighed. She had always called Night Sorrow Uncle because she saw Night Sorrow as her family. Wrong. This is your master's fault. Because he rushed too quickly, he didn't give you time to catch up. Other cultivators need a lot of time to cultivate to the Sovereign King level. At that time, the disciple may already be a Saint King and can help the master. When a master cultivates to the Sovereign King level, the disciple could be a Sovereign King. The time is proportional. However, your master is different from you in this aspect. In fact, this also gives you pressure. Emperor Qing said with a smile. He was very happy because his inheritance was being carried forward. Qing Emperor only had 2 disciples in his life. His eldest disciple, Zhan Tan, was very powerful and famous in the 3 realms. His youngest disciple, Night Sorrow, had reached a height that no one in the chaotic realm had ever reached. He was a virtuous saint and had unparalleled combat power. Even the once famous human emperor and Bloodblade Lord couldn't do it. They were not invincible in the heavenly monarch realm. They were almost the same. What about Night Sorrow now? He could kill heavenly monarchs easily, a half monarch and a rank 9 corpse. Most importantly, Night Sorrow had done all this when he was in the monarch realm. Night Sorrow had no problems himself. His disciples and children were also very outstanding. Therefore, his lineage was destined to be glorious in the future. But our talents are not good, Ning Yun said. Grandmaster only had 2 disciples in his life, your great-uncle Zhan Tan and your master. There are so many geniuses. Why didn't Grandmaster accept any? Because temperament is the main factor that determines one's success. Your master has it, and so do you. Emperor Qing nodded to Ning Yun. We will work hard. July nodded. Very good. Cultivate your body and bring peace to the world. Your master doesn't cultivate the way of a gentleman, but he has shown it to the fullest. Qing Emperor looked in the direction of the dragon cauldron again, and then turned to leave. Night Sorrow cultivated his fighting spirit every day. Sometimes he would go out for a walk. While Night Sorrow was talking to Dechira, Yi Qingyin and Yi Yujun arrived. Night Sorrow was stunned when he saw the 2 of them. Father, you haven't been home for a long time. Yi Qingyin shook Night Sorrow's arm as she spoke. I really want to scold you. Forget it. Night Sorrow was originally really unhappy. It wasn't safe here, and he didn't want his children to come over. One had to know that when his disciples came, he would arrange for them to stay with their master and master's wife. Big sis, you're amazing. I was originally waiting to be scolded, Yi Yujun said softly. Disobedient and worrisome, Night Sorrow muttered. What was this place? This was a battlefield. Father, don't worry. As long as there's a battle, I'll pull my little brother to the teleportation array and run. I won't distract you, said Yi Qingyan with a smile. All right, stay here and don't run around, Night Sorrow said. The only genuine version. All of them yes. Pirated version. Father, these are the dishes that Mother personally prepared for you and Aunt Aluo. Yi Qingyan took out the food box. All right, you two have a seat too. How's the family? Are your little brother and sister obedient? Night Sorrow waved his hand, letting Yi Qingyan and Yi Yujun sit down. Obedient? Father, the word obedient has nothing to do with our Yi Xiaoluo. That guy's causing a ruckus. Father Gu has to watch him carefully every day, because if he's not careful, he can set the Sky City on fire. Yi Qingyan glanced at Dechira and said with a smile, that's how I should act. Sandalwood entered the tent. Senior brother, you're here. Have a seat. Night Sorrow stood up and greeted him. Yi Qingyan and Yi Yujun also bowed. It's a good thing when a child is capable. He's so listless and useless. Sandalwood sat down and said, Little brother Luo's talent is good. He reached the void inquiry stage without cultivating much. He's much better than me and my sister. Yi Yujun said, Talent is just one aspect. Temperament is very important. We have to pay more attention to this in the future. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said. After eating, Night Sorrow thought for a while and decided to put aside his cultivation for the time being and spend some time with his children. However, his children ran away with Sandalwood. I haven't been back for quite some time. It must be hard for my sisters to take care of little Luo. Dechira said. It's nothing. You know 9 senior sister, 6 senior sister, and Chuyu. They will treat little Luo as their own. Night Sorrow was not worried. You have a calm personality. Little Luo's personality is like mine. He will inherit everything I have in the future. Dechira said with a smile. She was very happy to hear that her son was naughty. Inherit everything you have. Aluo, let's discuss this. Children need their own space. We don't want to be tied down. So what if we don't want everything in the dark abyss? I actually want to persuade you to give up. Night Sorrow said. What are you thinking? That's not what I meant. When I said I would inherit the techniques and absolute arts, I will arrange for someone else to manage the dark abyss later. Why would I tie up the children? Dechira glared at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled apologetically. Of the 4 children, Night Sorrow did not plan a path for them because he knew that everyone's path was different. Following that, Night Sorrow began to cultivate again. His son, daughter, and disciples stayed here. Qing Emperor, Misty Rain, and Sandalwood were taken care of. He did not need to worry. On this day, Night Sorrow was cultivating when the 9 regions' origins called for Night Sorrow. There was a problem. It was the teleportation array. As the 9 regions world moved, some teleportation arrays were not far enough and were about to fail. The teleportation array connecting the 9 regions world and the Wuji world had already failed. If the 9 regions world continued to move, all the teleportation arrays connected to the outside world would fail. Because of the distance, the teleportation crystals of the interworld teleportation arrays were not high enough. What should he do? The 9 regions world had to activate a top-level interworld teleportation array to connect to other worlds. Night Sorrow came to the command tent. He wanted to find Qing Emperor to solve this problem. When they saw Yi Shang, the heavenly lords who were talking quieted down. Master, I have something to discuss with you. Night Sorrow sat down and said, What is it? Is there any trouble? Qing Emperor asked. No. I want to dismantle one of the interworld teleportation arrays in the reincarnation world and set it up in the 9 regions world. Night Sorrow explained the current situation. Currently, there were 2 top-level teleportation arrays connecting the Xianwang Great World and the reincarnation world. Night Sorrow wanted to dismantle one and set it up in the Nine Regions world. You are the Realm Lord. You control the Nine Regions world and do not develop the world group for the sake of the Chaos Realm. Now that it has moved, it is necessary to set up a teleportation array, Tang Jianfeng said. The reincarnation world is stable. One teleportation array is enough. It is also very important to connect it to the Nine Regions world. Qing Emperor nodded. Later, I will give you the inter-world teleportation array crystal in the Shenwu city. You can open the teleportation array between the Nine Regions world and the Shenwu Great World. Heavenly Lord Shun, who said, after a great world rose, it was very important to connect it to other great worlds. Speak. Third watch. Chapter 1470. Tang Jianfeng even gave Night Sorrow the inter-realm teleportation array crystal of the black-yellow Great World. I can't leave. Uncle Shangwan, please help me set up the teleportation array, Night Sorrow said. After the exchange, Night Sorrow left the command tent and found Shangwan Hong. He asked Shangwan Hong to dismantle the inter-realm teleportation array of the Heaven Tiger Pass and set it up with the teleportation crystal. Night Sorrow wanted to set up the main teleportation array at the Nine Regions city, which used to be the Clear Sky City. Night Sorrow also told Shangwan Hong to send the inter-realm teleportation crystal of the main teleportation array to him first. He wanted the secret technique to recognize him as its master. This way, he would be able to control everyone who entered and left the Nine Regions world. Although he could kill a Heaven Lord now, Night Sorrow didn't want to take any risks. The Nine Regions world was his home. He couldn't be careless or make any mistakes. Shangwan Hong followed Night Sorrow's instructions. He first sent the crystal of the main teleportation array to Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow recognized him as its master, Shangwan Hong started to set up the teleportation array. Heaven Lord God, who also gave the teleportation crystal of the Divine Martial City to Night Sorrow. It was more troublesome to set up a large-scale teleportation array. Besides, it had to connect several great worlds. It also had to be set up between the cities and the sky. It took Shangwan Hong a month to finish setting up the teleportation array. Knowing that the teleportation array was fine, Night Sorrow communicated with the Nine Regions world's origin. The Nine Regions world continued to move. After everything was settled, Night Sorrow started to cultivate again. The Nine Regions world was currently using the best teleportation crystal. As long as they were in the Chaos domain, they could teleport. Therefore, Night Sorrow didn't have to worry. Besides, once the teleportation crystal recognized him as its master, Night Sorrow would be able to sense it. He could control the opening and closing of the teleportation array. With peace of mind, Night Sorrow cultivated peacefully. Sometimes he would go to the God-slaying team's base to take a look. He would also spend time with his son and daughter. When he was relaxed, Night Sorrow's cultivation base advanced rapidly. Whether it was his realm or the cultivation of his fighting spirit, they were both improving rapidly. Night Sorrow was also in trouble. He had to use his leakless true body at all times. Otherwise, his battle intent, which carried an austere aura, would injure others. It would be unbearable. After spending 1.5 years in the real world, which was also 10 years in the Hao Yian Godly Pagoda, Night Sorrow's will of nothingness had reached 99%, reaching the highest level. One more step, and he would no longer be an overlord, but a lord of heaven. Night Sorrow also stopped his seclusion because it was very difficult to make the final step. He had to first stabilize his current realm. In addition, just 1 point away from perfection, one also needed an opportunity and accumulation. When the opportunity arrived, it would be perfect. If the opportunity did not arrive, then one would forever be a sovereign and have no fate with a heaven monarch. After Night Sorrow's original body came out of seclusion, he wanted to take a look outside the Devil Blood energy. After 2 years, the Devil Blood energy was still very weak and had not risen. This situation made Night Sorrow realize that the other party would not make a move for the time being. The strength of the Devil Blood energy directly determine the pace of the Devil Blood domain. Without the support of the Devil Blood energy, Xie Bing and the others could only wait. Night Sorrow went to the command tent in the Reincarnation Great World and greeted the Qing Emperor and Misty Rain. It's very oppressive. Although your aura doesn't leak out, I can still feel it. In fact, I'm even being suppressed. In the past few years, your cultivation has increased rapidly. If you take one more step, you will become a heavenly monarch. At that time, even if the demon commander is a half-step monarch, he will only be killed by you. Emperor Qing said, Master, I have let you down. Now, I have no feeling of comprehending the will. In other words, I do not know where to start with the remaining 1 point. Night Sorrow shook his head and said, Kiki, that's right. Every peak stage monarch will have this period of confusion. During this period, it is impossible to break through. What about your senior brother? He was trapped for 5 million years. The fastest record for breaking through this period was at least 1,000 years. The Qing Emperor said, No, 1,000 years is too long. It is the time of turmoil now. It is not stable. When he heard that it would take 1,000 years, Night Sorrow was a little anxious. The current situation should not be a problem, right? That evil demon commander is also not a match for you. Night Sorrow, Misty Rain said, Mistress, I have some deductions. The Devil Blood domain has not retreated. This means that they still have a backup plan and can restrain me. Moreover, this half-step monarch realm evil demon commander is only a commander of the army. Then, what is the cultivation base of the Devil Blood domain's chief? At the very least, his combat strength is stronger than the evil demon commander. It is very likely that he is a monarch realm cultivator. If I do not enter the heaven monarch realm, it will be difficult for me to fight against him. Night Sorrow said his dilemma. I see. Misty Rain's expression was a little ugly. Actually, I have thought about these things. I feel that everything is fate. Since we can survive until now, we can naturally survive until now. There is always a thread of fate in everything. The Qing Emperor said, Then, I will not hide it from Master. There's also the problem of the Celestial Sect. There are also some things that are not right for them to have a rank 9 skeleton. First of all, a rank 9 monarch realm cultivator would not become a skeleton for no reason. They must have been killed. If they can kill a monarch realm cultivator, they will be a great threat to us. Night Sorrow simply said all his concerns. Your concerns are not unreasonable. However, the world is the world of the people. It is not the responsibility of one person. Therefore, you do not need to feel too much pressure. The Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow nodded. In the current situation, he could only work hard. It was useless to think about other things. He did not know about these things. These heaven monarchs had thought about it and discussed it together. However, they did not have a good way to deal with it. J is the only one, the official V version. He is the one who stole the Z version. For others, it will take a lot of time. However, it is not necessarily the case for you. Perhaps you will have an epiphany, and this door will be kicked open. The Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow returned to his tent. Dechira, who was meditating, opened his eyes. He stood up and made a pot of tea. When they were chatting, Night Sorrow told him about his communication with the Qing Emperor. This cannot be rushed. The last step may trap people for a long time. However, it is also possible to break through it after an epiphany. Dechira said, Let's not drink tea. Let's drink some wine. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine. After drinking 2 mouthfuls of wine, Night Sorrow stood up and squinted his eyes to look at something. Night Sorrow, what's wrong? Dechira asked. When the 9 Zones world was moving, I discovered a few special worlds. There is a spatial world. It is the Ice Dragon world that I have been to before. Night Sorrow said, Ice Dragon world? Is it the Ice Dragon world that you obtained the true body of Bufong? Dechira asked in surprise. Yes, it is that Ice Dragon world. Actually, I should go and take a look. After all, I gained a lot the last time I went to Ice Dragon world. Night Sorrow thought for a while and stopped the 9 Zones world from moving. He planned to go and take a look. After all, he was friends with the Ice Dragons. If he could visit, he would definitely visit. Speak. The fourth update has arrived. Today's update is complete. Thank you for your help. Chapter 1471. Unsealed. Night Sorrow still remembered living in the Ice Dragon realm for a few decades. Shilai treated him like a nephew, while Shi-Tai and Shiyu treated him like brothers. He missed it very much. In the past, he didn't go because the Ice Dragon realm wasn't connected to the outside world except at certain times. It was very difficult for anyone to enter. But now he could enter. Naturally, he had to go. His main body would stay here while his clone would go and pay a visit. Night Sorrow made his decision. After bidding farewell to Mandela and the others, Night Sorrow's avatar left the Alliance through the teleportation array and returned to the Nine Regions world. Just as Night Sorrow arrived at the world's barrier and was about to tear it open to travel through space, he detected someone outside the world's barrier. Shi-Tai. Night Sorrow discovered that it was Shi-Tai. At the edge of the Nine Regions world, Shi-Tai tried to enter a few times, but the space collapsed and shattered, not giving him a chance to enter. No matter how he traveled, he was trapped in the spatial turbulence. Chuckle. Night Sorrow waved his arm and suppressed the spatial energy. Then, he tore open the world's barrier and quietly looked at Shi-Tai. Night Sorrow. Shi-Tai entered the Nine Regions world and went forward to give Night Sorrow a bear hug. I was planning to visit you and Shiyu and also visit Uncle Lai. Then you came. You crashed into it a few times and couldn't enter. You must feel good. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You're too unkind. You just watched me crash into the wall. To think that I came out just to drink with you. Shi-Tai glared at Night Sorrow. How can you say that I'm unkind? When I found out that I could travel to the Ice Dragon realm, I came over immediately to find you. Come, accompany me to see Uncle Lai first. Then you guys can come out. Night Sorrow said. All right, I came out to scout the way. Because of your help, the elites of our Ice Dragon realm have all cultivated techniques. Just the wind tribulation and the fire tribulation won't threaten their lives. As for the more intense wind tribulation and the fire tribulation, it's up to fate whether they can withstand it or not. After Night Sorrow left, Shi-Lai and the others focused on cultivating not leaking true body. Now that they had some achievements, Shi-Tai planned to come out to scout. The Ice Dragons couldn't be trapped in a world forever. Up after just passing through, Shi-Tai had expended a lot of energy, so he recovered and then flew towards the Ice Dragon realm with Yishang. After reaching the Ice Dragon realm, Night Sorrow and Shi-Tai tore the world's barrier. The Ice Dragon realm is very powerful. Normally, the world's origin would restrict cultivators above the Sovereign King level from entering. I can enter the Ice Dragon realm without any restrictions. It probably feels that I'm not a threat, Yishang said. The Ice Dragon realm's world's origin is in the Ice Dragon abyss. Maybe it's because of the existence of the Ice Dragons. The world's origin doesn't have a strong sense of danger. Shi-Tai said. The two of them entered the Ice Dragon realm's area. At the profound ice river, Night Sorrow set up a teleportation array. Then they began to fly. Because they didn't avoid anything, their speed was extremely fast. An hour later, Night Sorrow stopped. Why did you stop? My royal father and royal sister must be very anxious to see you. Shi-Tai said. Hee. Then you continue flying. I'll take the teleportation array. Night Sorrow pointed to the side with a smile. There's an array here. Shi-Tai was a monarch, so he naturally had good eyesight. He had already discovered the illusion array that Night Sorrow had set up. Let's go. Night Sorrow brought Shi-Tai into the teleportation array and began to teleport. With the teleportation array, it was naturally very fast. After 15 minutes, Night Sorrow and Shi-Tai arrived at the Dragon King Palace. Seeing Night Sorrow, the Ice Dragon directly slapped Night Sorrow's shoulder heavily. You brat, what kind of cultivation speed is this? In the blink of an eye, you've cultivated to the monarch realm. Uncle Lai, how have you been these years? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Good, very good, Shi-Lai said with a laugh. At this moment, Shiyu came over. She gave Yishang a hug as well. After sitting down, Shi-Lai asked, How have you been recently? I'm all right. There's a lot going on outside. I came to see Uncle Lai, Shi Tai, and Shi Yu. I'll go back later. Night Sorrow said. You can't go back if you don't stay for a few decades. Shi Yu glared at Night Sorrow. Shi Yu, it's very chaotic outside. A realm war has broken out. The Reincarnation Great World, the Black-Yellow Great World, and the Shenwu Great World are fighting against the Devil Blood Realm. The situation is very bad. Night Sorrow sighed and explained the situation. Father, are we considered a subsidiary world of these three great world groups? Shi Tai looked at Shi Lai and asked, yes or no, we have to go to war too. Are we supposed to watch Night Sorrow fight in front of us like nothing happened? Shi Yu's temper became even more irritable. The Ice Dragon Realm is actually a subsidiary world of the Azure Dragon Constellation Realm. However, we're closer to the three great worlds and farther away from the Azure Dragon Realm. It's not an exaggeration to say that we're a subsidiary world of the Reincarnation Great World. A.O. Lai said, Uncle Lai, if the Ice Dragon Realm wants to be connected to the outside world, we'll have to set up a teleportation array. The spatial world I came from will move away later. Night Sorrow said. The Nine Regions world had only passed by the edge of the Ice Dragon Realm when it moved. Seeing that A.O. Lai didn't understand, Night Sorrow didn't hide the truth and directly explained the situation. Uncle Lai, top-grade teleportation crystals are hard to find. The teleportation arrays used by the Nine Regions world are all built by tearing down the east wall to pay the west wall. Therefore, I don't know how to help you. Teleportation crystals. There are plenty of them. Do you have to tear down the east wall to pay the west wall? There aren't any top-grade ones. I'll go get them for you. Shi Tai got up and left. Shi Tai is very generous, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Dragons are famous for being stingy, but they won't be stingy with their brothers and friends. Night Sorrow, help Uncle Lai arrange the teleportation array. Uncle Lai's original body is now in seclusion. However, if you need anything, send a message to Uncle Lai. Uncle Lai will be there at any time. Shi Lai said, Uncle Lai is too polite. This is some tea from my hometown. Uncle Lai, take it. Night Sorrow took out a packet of heart-cleansing tea and gave it to A.O. Lai. Then Uncle Lai will take it. Shi Lai nodded. Shi Yu, I won't give you any gifts. I'm just inviting you to the Nine Regions world as a guest. When the time comes, I'll treat you warmly. Night Sorrow said to Shi Yu. Then it's settled. You must treat me warmly. Otherwise, I'll stay in your house. Shi Yu said with a smile. At that moment, Shi Lai strode back. Father, what grade is this teleportation crystal? After speaking, Shi Lai placed a large piece of teleportation crystal that was more than a foot in diameter in front of Shi Lai. It was shining with light. The Ice Dragon Abyss contains the remains of our ancestors. Your grandfather wanted to get it out, but he failed many times. However, it wasn't without results. This teleportation crystal is a 9th grade material. If you use it to set up a teleportation array, there's no place you can't teleport to. We have no use for it, so we left it in the warehouse. Shi Lai looked at it and casually tossed it to Night Sorrow. Speak. First watch. Chapter 1472. Unseal. Uncle Lai, this is not appropriate. Night Sorrow stood up. The level 9 material was too precious, and he could not accept it. SHXS/ What's not appropriate? You discovered the secret of the Heavenly Mandate Scepter and gave the Ice Dragons hope. You also gave us a chance to get out. What's a teleportation crystal? Take it. Shiliet glared at Night Sorrow with a pair of copper bells. Then I'll take it. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. You call me Uncle Lai, so you're my nephew, which is equivalent to the Prince of the Ice Dragons. Uncle Lai will not be polite with you, so don't treat Uncle Lai as an outsider. The Ice Dragon Realm doesn't need to be too chaotic with the outside world. It's fine as long as it's connected to your world. This way, your world will be stable, and so will the Ice Dragon Realm. Uncle Lai won't have to worry about it, Shilia said. Father is smart, Shi Yu said with a smile. Shi Yu, don't talk nonsense. Uncle Lai trusts you. The Nine Regions world is connected to the 3 major world groups. The Ice Dragon realm can teleport to any of the 3 major world groups by teleporting to the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow said. So what if he's smart? Night Sorrow is powerful. So can't he make father worry? Shilia glared at his daughter. She curled her lips and did not say anything. These are all for you. Take them. Shilia took out a few teleportation stones. Among them, there were 2 top-level teleportation stones that were connected to the major worlds. Then I won't be polite. Uncle I, my strength has increased. I'll go to the Ice Dragon Abyss and see if I can get the bones of the Ice Dragons back, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Okay, but don't take the risk. Shitai, you go with him. You can make the decision to communicate with the outside world. If you don't know anything, ask Night Sorrow. Father still has to go into seclusion, Shilia said to Shitai and Night Sorrow. Shilia left and went into seclusion. Night Sorrow, my father is an outstanding genius among the ice dragons. In the past, because of the trials of wind and fire, my father didn't dare to cultivate. After you explained the profound meaning of the heavenly mandate scepter, my father has been in seclusion, vowing to reach the 9th rank Emperor realm, Shitai said. Uncle I can do it. All right, Brother Tai, let's go to the Ice Dragon Abyss. I'll see if I can fish out the Ice Dragon skeleton. I'm pressed for time, so I can't stay for too long, Night Sorrow said. Knowing that the situation outside was bad, Shitai and Shiyu didn't say anything and brought Night Sorrow to the Ice Dragon Abyss. The situation in the Ice Dragon Abyss was still as bad as before. The extreme cold was rampant. However, the Night Sorrow from back then was not at the same level as now. The difference was huge. He did not even need to defend against the cold outside the Ice Dragon Abyss. His monarch rank body could easily withstand it. When they reached the shore of the Ice Dragon Abyss, Night Sorrow looked inside the Ice Dragon Abyss. The white cold air almost froze everything. The air was still, and only the cold currents were moving. Night Sorrow, the Ice Dragon Abyss has always been a forbidden area. My father is a big shot and a Lord of Heaven, but he still can't get the skeleton back. If you have a way, try it. It doesn't matter if you can't fish it out, Shitai said. Wait for me here. Don't come near. Night Sorrow's body shook, and a murderous battle intent burst forth. Then he flew toward the Ice Dragon Abyss. Actually, Night Sorrow didn't need to say anything. Even the talented ice dragons couldn't get close to the Ice Dragon Abyss. Seeing Night Sorrow fly forward, Shitai and Shiyu were shocked. Night Sorrow's aura was very strong now. It forcibly spread out and broke through the extreme cold that froze everything. The pressure was great. The extreme cold energy above the Ice Dragon Abyss was squeezing toward Night Sorrow. The void energy protected his body. When the extreme cold reached Night Sorrow's side, it turned into nothingness. When the distance was enough, Night Sorrow threw out the Ice Dragon skin tendon net that he hadn't used for a long time. The net flew out and covered one of the huge claws of the Ice Dragon skeleton. Get over here, Yi Sorrow roared. Resisting the freezing chi, he pulled with all his might with his right hand. The Ice Dragon Abyss shook. The skeleton of the Ice Dragon was extremely huge. It was almost a part of the Ice Dragon Abyss. When Night Sorrow pulled it, it caused an extremely strong energy vibration. Night Sorrow's battle intent burst forth to the limit. He resisted the pressure of heaven and earth in the Ice Dragon Abyss. While using the void energy to protect his body, it also protected the Ice Dragon skin tendon net from being frozen by the extreme cold. Up, the huge skeleton of the Ice Dragon was moving. However, its speed was very slow. Its body was too big, like a small mountain. In addition, the extreme cold was constantly freezing it. Night Sorrow had a hard time pulling it. Rumbling sounds kept coming out. Night Sorrow and the Ice Dragon were getting closer and closer. An immemorial, ferocious beast. She muttered softly. Night Sorrow was too powerful. The energy on his body clashed with the extreme cold, causing the energy to constantly churn. After pulling for some distance, Night Sorrow felt that he had used up a lot of energy. He shook his arm and put away the Ice Dragon skin tendon net. returning to the shore of the ice dragon abyss. I thought I could withstand it, but it's still not enough. The ice dragon abyss is not only suppressed by will and laws, but also by the power of the heavenly Tao. However, if I can't do it once, I'll do it a few times. I should be able to fish it out, Night Sorrow said. Shitai and Shiyu looked at Night Sorrow as if they were looking at a monster. Night Sorrow, are you sure you're a human? Shiyu asked after staring at Night Sorrow for a while. What are you asking? My grandfather, father, and mother are all humans. Our Night Sorrow family is also a large family in the 9 regions world. We're all humans, Night Sorrow said. All right, you're ruthless enough. She said, Night Sorrow, do this a few times and you'll be able to fish out the ancestor skeleton. Also, can you do me a favor? Shitai looked at Night Sorrow with excitement in his eyes. Brother Tai, you're too polite. Please tell me what you need. Night Sorrow didn't understand why Shitai was so excited. Over there, that's my childhood friend. She was cultivating in seclusion here, but she was accidentally swept in by an extreme cold current. I can't be with her for the rest of my life, but I don't want her to stay here alone. It's best if we can put her in the ancestral land. Shitai pointed at an ice dragon skeleton that was much smaller than the ice dragon king in the ice dragon abyss. I will. If possible, I'll fish out all the ice dragon skeletons here and let them return to the ancestral land, Night Sorrow said. The ice dragon skeleton was the largest in the ice dragon abyss, and the binding power of the ice dragon abyss was also the strongest. If Night Sorrow could pull out the ice dragon skeleton, then fishing out the rest of the ice dragon skeletons wouldn't be a problem. After Night Sorrow rested for a while, he flew into the sky above the ice dragon abyss and continued to pull out the ice dragon skeleton. This time, Night Sorrow activated his virtuous body and increased the strength of pulling the ice dragon skeleton. The energy consumption was great, so Night Sorrow returned to the ice dragon abyss to rest. When Night Sorrow rested for the 3rd time, Aolai came. When he saw Night Sorrow pulling the ice dragon skeleton out, he was shocked because he couldn't do it. If he could, he would have already brought the skeleton back to the ancestral land. Speak. The 2nd chapter has arrived. Thank you, brother, for unlocking the 4th chapter yesterday. Thank you so much. Today, I'll add another chapter to thank you. I also want to add more, but because the 4th chapter is guaranteed, the workload is very large. After 3 million words, it's very difficult to write a chapter. Actually, I'm under pressure because everyone is working hard to support Shiboy. Shiboy doesn't want to write things that aren't good or interesting. That would be blasphemy, a blasphemy to everyone's support for Shiboy. Therefore, my writing speed has decreased. Please understand. Chapter 1473. After another rest, Night Sorrow finally pulled the ice dragon skeleton out of the ice dragon abyss. After pulling the ice dragon out of the ice dragon abyss, Night Sorrow let out a roar. He had done something he didn't even dare to think about in the past. However, at this moment, something strange happened. The ice dragon king skeleton that had been pulled out shone brightly. It directly sent Night Sorrow, who bore the brunt of the attack, flying backwards and spitting out blood. Yi Shang, who was flying backward, cursed in his heart. What heaven monarch realm, Ice Dragon King? It was not. It was the Ice Dragon Emperor of the Imperial Realm, the fallen Ice Dragon Emperor. The Ice Dragon Emperor's aura was no longer suppressed by the ice after being pulled out of the Ice Dragon Abyss. When it burst out, it sent Night Sorrow flying. His sternum shattered, and his true chi became chaotic. Night Sorrow was heavily injured. The Ice Dragon Emperor's aura was very powerful. It was on a completely different level from the Celestial Sex Rank 9 skeleton. After attacking Night Sorrow, its aura was restrained. She flew over and supported Night Sorrow. Are you all right? Night Sorrow supported Shiyu's shoulder and steadied himself. He then looked at Aolai. I'm sorry. There are some things I didn't tell you. The ancestor wasn't an ice dragon, but a rank 9 ice dragon emperor. I'm known as the most outstanding person in the clan, but compared to the ancestor, I'm nothing, said Aolai. Night Sorrow nodded. He now understood. Night Sorrow, you heal first. Uncle Lai will go settle the ancestor skeleton. Shi Lai waved his arm and left the Ice Dragon Abyss with the Ice Dragon Emperor's skeleton. You two tricked me. Remember that. Night Sorrow glared at Shi Tai and Shi Yu. After drinking the life spirit liquid, he sat down and began to heal. Sister, what's going on? Why don't I know anything about it? Shi Tai asked Shi Yu. How can I know what you don't know? She was also very puzzled. Night Sorrow continued to recover. After Shilia returned, he went to Night Sorrow's side to guard him. After recuperating for half a day, Night Sorrow stood up. This time, his injuries were more serious. Night Sorrow, let's go back and talk. Zeta, Shiyu, follow me. There are some things you should know and understand. After saying that, Shilia flew towards the Ice Dragon Palace. Night Sorrow and the other two followed behind. Shilai brought the three of them to Shi Tai's courtyard. Then Shilia revealed some secrets that no one, including the Ice Dragons, knew about. The old ancestor of the Ice Dragons was the prince of the Azure Dragons. He was extremely talented and possessed extremely powerful ice abilities. Due to his rebellious nature, he married the princess of the Ice Dragon clan when he was traveling the world. This angered the Azure Dragons and was expelled from the Azure Dragon clan. After being expelled from the Azure Dragons, the old ancestor came to the Ice Dragon realm and gave birth to Ice Dragons. Later on, the two old ancestors left the Ice Dragon realm and went to the legendary Celestial realm. However, the old ancestor left behind a clone, which was the skeleton from earlier. Many years later, the Moon Empress became an emperor. Countless years later, the old ancestor died. The clone in the Ice Dragon realm also died. Although the body was intact, the soul was destroyed. Shilia revealed some secrets to Night Sorrow and the other two. The old ancestor might have been punished by the heavens, and so were the Ice Dragons. The tribulation of wind and fire is the product of the heavens' punishment. Many large worlds are unable to produce an emperor, but the Ice Dragon realm can. However, no one dares to touch the tribulation of wind and fire, Shilia continued. As Shilia explained, Night Sorrow understood one thing. A world that had never produced an emperor, even a large world, was unable to produce an emperor. This was the shackle of the heavenly Tao. The Ice Dragon realm could produce an emperor now because the old ancestor of the Ice Dragon realm had broken the shackle. This was easy to understand. The Nine Regions world could not produce a king in the past. Yi Qianhua could not enter the king realm after countless reincarnations because there was no way. After Night Sorrow became a king, it was equivalent to opening a door. Later generations could walk through this door and become a king. Ice Dragons, other than a clan leader who needs to have a high cultivation level, will no longer comprehend the will after reaching the monarch realm. They are afraid of touching the forbidden door and provoking the tribulation of wind and fire, Shilia said. No one dared to touch the Ice Dragon's taboo. The old ancestor of the Ice Dragons left the heavenly mandate scepter, which was the key to unlocking the taboo. After Night Sorrow understood it, he gave the Ice Dragons hope. That was why Shilia dared to cultivate in seclusion and try to break through to the 9th rank. Understand, it seems that the three macro world groups of the chaotic realm are also limited by the shackles of the way of heaven, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. Becoming an emperor in the celestial realm is the only way to break the shackles. Our ancestors were like this back then. Uncle Lai also knows this much. Now, the Ice Dragons do not have any records of how our ancestors went to the celestial realm. If you reach the Heaven Monarch realm, you can also go to the Ice Dragon realm. Maybe you will have a chance. After all, the Ice Dragon realm is a little special. Shilia nodded to Night Sorrow. Thank you, Uncle Lai, for clearing my doubts. Later, I will go and pull all the Ice Dragons out of the Ice Dragon Abyss and let them rest in their ancestral land. Then I will go back, Night Sorrow said. Although he knew some things, he was most worried about the battlefield in the black-yellow great world. That's fine. You can set up the teleportation formation in the square in front of the Ice Dragon Palace. If there is anything, you could send a message to Uncle Lai, Shilia said to Night Sorrow. Shilia was busy with his closed-door cultivation. After chatting for a while, he left, leaving Shiyu and Shitai to accompany Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was injured by the Ice Dragon Emperor's counterattack. He rested for 2 days and then fished out all the Ice Dragon skeletons from the Ice Dragon Abyss. After that, he set up the teleportation formation in front of the Ice Dragon Palace. Night Sorrow planned to leave. "Brother, we still have some things to deal with here. We will go find you later," Shitai said. "I'll activate the teleportation formation here after I return. You can teleport directly to the 9-domain world, and then you can teleport to any of the 3 great worlds," Yishang said after embedding a teleportation crystal in the teleportation formation. "Okay." Shitai nodded. "Then, I will leave," Night Sorrow said with a smile. "Here, take this." Sita gave Night Sorrow a storage ring. "Brother Sita, this isn't interesting." Night Sorrow looked at Sita and frowned. Moj new chapter 2D section, Ishanga, what do you mean boring? It's just some wine and a small gift. Don't waste my time. Let's go back and wait for me, Sita's arrival. Sita patted Night Sorrow's shoulder and said, nodding helplessly. Night Sorrow took out the teleportation array disk and teleported to the small teleportation array he had set up. After watching Night Sorrow leave, Shitai and Shiyu looked at each other. "Big brother, Night Sorrow is very strong now." "That's right. This fellow is indeed ridiculously strong. We'll go look for him later. Now, let's arrange the matters at hand," Shitai said. Taking the teleportation array, Night Sorrow returned to the 9-domains world. In the 9-domains city, Night Sorrow separated the teleportation crystal and embedded it. The teleportation array between the 9-domains world and the Ice Dragon realm was officially opened. Then, Night Sorrow communicated with the 9-domains origin body. The 9-domains world could continue to move to the predetermined location. His main body was in the Black Origin Great World's battlefield and could confirm that the situation was stable. Night Sorrow entered the 9-domains origin body's defensive barrier and went to the main palace next to the heaven-sealing Great Hall. That was the City Lord's mansion. The 9-domains world only had one realm master, and the 9-domains city only had one City Lord. That was Night Sorrow. After entering the City Lord's mansion, Night Sorrow took out the teleportation crystal ring that Shitai had given him. Chapter 1474. After opening the storage ring, Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that there was more than just wine in the storage ring. There must be something else. As expected, there were a lot of shiny things in the storage ring. Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle. After opening the jade bottle, Night Sorrow was stunned for a moment. Night Sorrow could tell from the energy emitted by the blood essence that it was the blood essence of a heaven monarch realm ice dragon. It was definitely not Shilia's. Night Sorrow could feel that the aura was different. Night Sorrow understood that this was the blood essence that the ice dragons had obtained and stored in their ancestors. It was good stuff. Night Sorrow could use it to strengthen his body. Just like his cultivation, his body needed to be improved. Although he didn't use it now, when his body reached the Heaven Monarch realm, he needed to continue to improve it. After leaving the important things, such as the Tier 9 teleportation crystal and other resources, to the clone in the Heaven Sealing Hall, Night Sorrow teleported back to the battlefield in the black-yellow Great World. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to change his way of thinking. His clone would cultivate the fighting spirit, while his original body would relax and search for the feeling. If he could feel it, he might have the opportunity to make a breakthrough. Night Sorrow switched his protective treasure Night. His clone used the Hao Ian Divine Pagoda to accelerate time to cultivate the fighting spirit, while his original body walked around casually to search for the feeling. Night Sorrow's aura was getting stronger and stronger. Although the aura didn't leak out, everyone could feel that there was a peerless, ferocious beast hiding in Night Sorrow's body. Night Sorrow entered the Devil Blood Chi and killed 2 more times. The evil soldiers couldn't do anything, but 2 heaven monarchs under their command were killed by Night Sorrow. PWDPW, the 2 legions of the Devil Blood Domain had tens of thousands of people, more than a dozen heaven monarchs, and a half-step martial emperor commander. However, they couldn't stop Night Sorrow from killing. This was a disgrace to the Devil Blood Domain. Night Sorrow was fast and powerful. Besieging, chasing, and intercepting were all useless. They couldn't stop Night Sorrow's violent charge. The evil soldiers had no choice but to set up a formation to block Night Sorrow's attack. At this moment, Night Sorrow was the god of war in the hearts of the allied forces of the 3 realms. No one could stop Night Sorrow. If he wanted to kill his way into the Devil Blood Chi, he could do so. The soldiers of the Devil Blood Domain could only retreat. After drinking with the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow went to senior brother Sandal's tent. You 2 have troubled your martial uncle again. Remember, when you trouble your martial uncle again, you must prepare some good wine and dishes, Yi Shang said as he looked at his children. After chatting with Jean Tan for a while, Night Sorrow left. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Jean Tan nodded. Although your father doesn't care, no matter where he goes, he'll always be the center of attention. He'll always shine. But father has sacrificed too much behind the scenes, said Yi Qingyan in a low voice. Time passed. Night Sorrow still couldn't find the opportunity to break through. This was something he couldn't do anything about. The will of nothingness had reached 99%, but it just wasn't perfect. While Night Sorrow was searching for the opportunity to break through, the battle broke out again. Xie Bing's senior brother, Lai Bing of the Heavenly Tao, had come out of seclusion. Knowing that his junior brother had suffered a setback and had suffered a loss, Lai Bing was furious. He brought his guards to the Xuanhuan Great World through the Void Wormhole. Seeing Lai Bing, Xie Bing was somewhat excited. He had suffered too much in the past few years. Junior brother, what's going on? Lai Bing sat in the main seat in the tent. The other side sent out a monster. I can't take it down. The dandelion devil blood insect have suffered heavy losses. Fortunately, one of the larvae is a dandelion mother insect. But it takes a long time to reproduce, said Xie Bing. Don't worry. Let's kill our way over first. Later, I'll bring my insects over. Then everything will be solved, said Lai Bing of the Heavenly Tao coldly. Lai Bing of the Heavenly Tao and Xie Bing of the Demonic Tao had different styles. Lai Bing of the Heavenly Tao's aura was very violent, with a very strong pressure. I'll leave everything to you, senior brother. Xie Bing nodded. In his life, the person he admired the most was his senior brother Lai Bing. Lai Bing was even more admirable than the Magic Dragon General. Night Sorrow stood in front of the Xuanhuan Great World's allied armies camp, looking into the distance. He already knew that something was wrong. Because of the opportunity, he sensed the arrival of experts. Father, why do you look so serious? Yi Qingyan went to Night Sorrow's side. A great battle is coming. Perhaps I won't be able to resist. Take your brother, and senior sister and leave. I'll be enough to fight at the front. You don't need to do anything, said Night Sorrow. Father, Yi Qingyan's eyes were filled with shock. She had never seen her father speak so seriously before. Listen to your father. Take your brother and leave. Sandalwood also arrived. Experts were very sensitive to auras. She also understood that the situation was very dangerous. Senior brother, the other side is very strong. Be careful. Night Sorrow's clone came out of seclusion and merged with his main body. The Haotian Godly Pagoda also entered his main body. Junior brother, the other side has 2 half-step emperors. We might not be able to handle them. What should we do? Asked Sandalwood, looking at Night Sorrow. Let's fight and see what happens, said Night Sorrow, looking at the rolling devil blood energy. Qing Emperor, Tang Jianfeng, and the others all went to Night Sorrow's side. Master, get ready to retreat. If we can't handle it, we have to retreat. We can't lose anyone, said Night Sorrow. All right, the Lotus Supreme, the Arch nodded. At this moment, he also understood how dangerous the situation was. Night Sorrow could fight a half-step Imperial Realm cultivator, but his opponent was not a half-step Imperial Realm cultivator. Standing in front of the camp, Knight Sorrow waited for the battle. Actually, he felt that the current situation was dangerous, but it was not hopeless. If an emperor appeared, it would be a truly hopeless situation. I'll try my best to stop the two of them. However, I have clones, but they must have clones as well. So if I can't stop them, the Lords of Heaven have to think of a way to hold them back. We can't let them form an army, said Knight Sorrow. Don't worry. The Wu Ling Mountain Master and I will cooperate to stop them. Lord of Heaven Shun Hu and the Wu Ling Mountain Master nodded. During this time, the Lords of Heaven had also cultivated the combined attack formation. Their main focus was defense. They had no chance of winning against half-step emperors, so defense was the most important thing. While Knight Sorrow was giving instructions, Lai Bing and Xie Bing led the army out of the Devil Blood Energy camp and to the front of the camp. Who is Knight Sorrow? Come out and die. Lai Bing of the Natural Law waved his halberd and shouted. Chapter 1475. Lai Bing's aura was stronger than evil soldiers. He stood there with energy rolling around him. This situation made Knight Sorrow realize that a half-step Imperial Realm warrior was the same as a half-step king. A half-step Imperial Realm warrior could not be compared to a half-step king with 70% will. The same was true for a half-step Imperial Realm warrior. Lai Bing, an evil soldier, had a huge gap between them. No matter how strong he was, Knight Sorrow had to fight because he had too many people and things to protect behind him. Qualifications? Whoever I want to kill will die. This rule has existed for countless years. You're no exception. Lai Bing's aura was getting stronger and stronger, causing energy waves to ripple in all directions. I don't hate fighting. Fighting is a process of tempering. It's also a method to solve problems. However, I really dislike people who boast shamelessly and say that they'll kill this and that. Can't they think about who they are? Being low-key is the most basic principle. Don't you understand this principle? Hearing Lai Bing's arrogant words, Knight Sorrow was disgusted and retorted directly. Lai Bing waved his halberd and laughed. Countless years had passed, and no one had dared to talk to him like this. Yi Shang's words didn't give him any face at all. Yi Shang respected his opponent, but the prerequisite was that the opponent was worthy of respect. After Lai Bing appeared, he spoke arrogantly. He was very disgusted. No need to laugh. How are we going to fight today? I can handle one of you. If two of you come, I, Knight Sorrow, can handle it, Knight Sorrow said coldly. Even if you're a Lord of Heaven or a half-step Imperial Realm warrior, I, Lai Bing, will not fight with others, Lai Bing said. Haha, this is not something you could decide. This is a war. If he comes out, I will take it. Knight Sorrow reached out and pulled out some Sara from behind him. Looking at Knight Sorrow, Lai Bing revealed his fighting style. Your words are sharp, saying that evil soldier can't fight. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if our army doesn't fight today. It's just you and me. After I kill you, it doesn't matter when I kill them. They're just a bunch of ants. What can they do? Knight Sorrow's body swayed and came to the front of the battlefield. Then, he waved some Sara. Come. Lai Bing jumped toward Knight Sorrow in the air. He carried the power of heaven and earth with him, as if he was going to press Knight Sorrow into the darkness. Knight Sorrow's battle intent burst forth. The murderous battle intent rippled in all directions, blocking the dark aura outside his body. At this moment, Lai Bing's halberd was aimed at Knight Sorrow's head. Knight Sorrow swung some Sara. With a loud explosion, the two of them separated. Yi Shang was pushed back a distance of 5 to 6 meters, while Lai Bing was also pushed back in the air. Then, the two rushed forward at the same time and fought again. Lai Bing was of the death attribute. The power of heaven and earth he carried was the power of death. His moves were also very big. His strength and Jinqi were very violent. Knight Sorrow's battle intent was released. He resisted the suppression of the dark aura. Then, he used the will of nothingness to protect his body and fought with Lai Bing. Very strong. Lai Bing was much stronger than Evil Soldier. not only in terms of cultivation, but also in terms of actual fighting strength. However, Knight Sorrow was not afraid. As long as he was not defeated in an instant, Knight Sorrow could hold on. Samsara used the 3 ultimate skills of Void Extreme Point Kill, Time Vibration Wave, and Space Revolving Dragon Kill to fight against Lai Bing. Everyone held their breath. This battle was too important. It was related to the direction of the war. In addition, it was a battle between top experts. It was rare to see and could be used as a reference. Original version ***** Misty Rain, who was about to bring Knight Sorrow's children and disciples to the teleportation array, stopped. It's not a group battle. There is no danger. You should also watch such a battle. See how experts fight. It was rare to see a battle between experts. Misty Rain also hoped that the children could increase their knowledge. If it was when the Realm War had just started, Knight Sorrow might not be Lai Bing's opponent. However, it was different now. Knight Sorrow's cultivation increased by the Hao Ian Godly Pagoda. He rushed from middle-class monarch to high-class monarch. This was only an increase in realm. In terms of actual fighting strength, Knight Sorrow had also increased a lot. His body was strengthened by the White Tiger's blood essence and kept up with the Myriad Tao Tome's cultivation realm. His body was at high-class monarch. The increase in soul spirit power was even greater. Knight Sorrow had refined 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid and was now in the process of refining the 4th drop. 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid was the limit for ordinary monarchs. However, Knight Sorrow's situation was special. He cultivated the Myriad Tao Tome. His divine sea was 1/3 larger than ordinary cultivators. With a larger capacity, there was more room for improvement. The 2 basic attributes of cultivator were the body and the soul spirit. Knight Sorrow had reached the level of ordinary monarchs. Even heaven monarchs could not reach these 2 attributes. Therefore, his actual fighting strength could no longer be measured by his current realm. Knight Sorrow and Lai Bing were fighting in the air. The energy sputtered in all directions. Spatial cracks and spatial vortexes constantly appeared. Because of Knight Sorrow's special void attribute, the sputtering energy disappeared around him, but could not hurt him. Do you see? This is your father and master. As a monarch, killing a heaven monarch is as easy as flipping one's hand. Even when fighting a half-step monarch, they are not at a disadvantage. This is an unprecedented and splendid battle record. Misty Rain lamented. Right now, she was not worried, but lamenting. If she was in the market, she would be instantly defeated and killed. She did not have the ability to fight at all. Father, don't you have powerful battle clones? Why don't you use them? Yi Qingyan asked, puzzled. It's unwise to use all our trump cards when we don't know how strong our opponent is. Moreover, our opponent has a half-step martial monarch. It's better to stabilize the situation first and seek victory later, said Heavenly Monarch Yufei. On the battlefield, Knight Sorrow didn't use any of his ultimate moves. He wasn't afraid of exhausting his energy. Although his opponent's energy was much denser than his, he had secretive true body. He wouldn't waste a single bit of energy in battle. Not being able to take down Knight Sorrow, Lai Bing was a little angry. He was the strongest expert in the Devil Blood Weave's 3 great worlds besides the chief, the Magic Dragon General. Now, he was evenly matched with a monarch. How could he endure this? Moreover, both armies and tens of thousands of Devil Blood Weave soldiers were watching. Lai Bing's body trembled as his clones appeared. Both the original body and the clone held a halberd and surrounded Knight Sorrow to attack. Is this why you have the confidence to boast so shamelessly? You have battle clones. Do you think others don't have battle clones? Knight Sorrow's body shook as his clone appeared as well. After using the battle doppelganger, Yishang also used the afterimage body. Both his true body and doppelganger had used the afterimage body. Amidst the countless afterimages, Yishang's true body and doppelganger rushed towards Lai Bing's doppelganger. He realized that the gap between Lai Bing's doppelganger and his true body was not small. If he could defeat Lai Bing's doppelganger with his full strength, it would be a great victory. Speak. The 5th update has arrived. Today's update has been completed. Thank you, brother, for your support. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your support. Chapter 1476. Night Sorrow and his doppelganger used residual shadow at the same time, which stunned Lai Bing. He didn't know which one to attack. Night Sorrow's residual shadow was formed by the combination of soul, energy, and genuine chi. It was hard to tell the real one from the fake. When Lai Bing decided to use a wide-range attack, Night Sorrow and his doppelganger used their unique skills at the same time. First, 2 space cracks appeared, separating Lai Bing from his doppelganger. Then they used Soul Destruction Slash at the same time, and the crescent blade formed by soul energy attacked Lai Bing's doppelganger. After the soul attack, Night Sorrow used Emperor Reincarnation Slash and Death Destruction Slash to attack Lai Bing's doppelganger. Yishang didn't make a move, but once he did, it was a thunderous attack. Although he didn't know if he could seriously injure Lai Bing, Yishang didn't want to let go of even the slightest chance. Once Lai Bing's doppelganger was killed, the situation of the battle would be changed. If something happened to Lai Bing's doppelganger, then there would only be 3 of them left. Lai Bing could fight against 2 of them, and the Master of Wuling Mountain and Lord of Heaven Shenhu could fight against one of them together. 2 black space cracks appeared between Lai Bing and his doppelganger. Then the black halo of Death Destruction Slash and the purple halo of Emperor Reincarnation Slash fell on Lai Bing's doppelganger one after another. Q update: our most % fast P black light appeared on Lai Bing's doppelganger, and then it gathered on his head. It collided with the soul attack of Death Destruction Slash and was annihilated together. Then the purple halo of Night Sorrow's Emperor Reincarnation Slash fell on his head. The black halo appeared on Lai Bing again, and then it gathered on his head to fend off Night Sorrow's soul attack. The black halo blocked the halo of Emperor Reincarnation Slash, but Night Sorrow's crescent blade of soul destruction Slash also penetrated his spirit sea. Then another crescent blade broke the black halo and entered his spirit sea, slashing inside. Lai Bing's doppelganger was trapped in a soul defense battle, and his body couldn't attack or defend. Sky-shaking roar. Lai Bing knew his doppelganger's situation, so he shouted anxiously. This wasn't an ordinary roar. It was the heaven-shaking roar. In the Devil Blood domain, the sky-shaking roar of the sky-shaking roar was famous. Even the king would be shocked out of his wits by this roar, and even the monarchs would be severely injured. It was just a roar, and the attack that followed after that roar was very difficult to defend against. The shockwave caused by the roar rushed towards Night Sorrow, his doppelganger, and all his afterimages. Night Sorrow's afterimages couldn't withstand the shockwave and were instantly destroyed. After the roar shattered Night Sorrow's afterimage, the sound wave continued to move forward. Its target was Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger. Suppress. Night Sorrow's original body's protective magic treasure, the Hao-Ian Godly Pagoda, appeared in front of his doppelganger. His original body activated the 9-region origin bead to protect his spirit sea, and then continued to attack Lai Bing's doppelganger. This defense was because Night Sorrow found that this sky-shaking roar was both a soul and a physical attack. Putting aside the physical defense, Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger's physical defense were similar. However, there was a difference in soul defense. His original body had the 9-region origin beads defense, while his doppelganger's soul defense was weaker. The Hao-Ian Godly Pagoda could block all attacks. After blocking Lai Bing's original body's ultimate skill, Night Sorrow's original body used the Void Extreme Point kill. The Samsara pierced into Lai Bing's doppelganger's body, and then it vibrated with energy. Pale purple light spots exploded in Lai Bing's body, directly annihilating a hole in his chest. At the same time, the Samsara's soul attack energy also rushed into Lai Bing's doppelganger's soul. Go to hell. When Lai Bing's doppelganger was seriously injured and could not move or resist, Night Sorrow's doppelganger rushed over. The space splitter pierced through the doppelganger's head through his temple. However, Lai Bing's original body arrived at this time, and his halberd pierced through Night Sorrow's doppelganger's chest. The Void Extreme Point kill, Night Sorrow's original body, Samsara, directly rushed towards Lai Bing's original body. Feeling the strong aura of Night Sorrow's Samsara, Lai Bing felt that he could not continue to hurt Night Sorrow's doppelganger. So he pulled out his halberd and blocked the Night Sorrow's Samsara. At this time, Night Sorrow's doppelganger continued to rush forward. Then, the dragon cauldron appeared, and the lifeless doppelganger was sucked into the dragon cauldron. At this time, Night Sorrow's doppelganger's chest had a bloody hole. However, it was not a big problem. To others, it might be a serious injury, but to Night Sorrow, it was only an external injury. Father is injured. Yi Qingyin, who was watching the battle, was somewhat excited. Don't worry. Your father's aura and vigor are not weakened, which means it is not serious. He is not fundamentally injured. Misty Rain pressed Yi Qingyin's shoulder. Come on, you can play however you want. After killing Lai Bing's doppelganger, Night Sorrow's original body began to defend. To put it bluntly, he was trying to delay. Lai Bing's aura became weaker. His doppelganger was destroyed, and his original body's soul was severely injured. Today I was ambushed by you. I will kill you another day. Lai Bing's body flashed and rushed towards the camp of the Devil Blood Boundary Army. At this time, Night Sorrow's doppelganger had arrived. Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger were fighting against him together. Even if he could hold on, he would not be able to do anything. Night Sorrow did not chase after him. There was no possibility of killing Lai Bing's original body, so it was meaningless to continue. Those who provoke me will be killed by me. As long as I am alive, I will be your nightmare. Night Sorrow waved his right hand, and Samsara fell into the trap on his back. Then his original body and doppelganger merged together and flew back to the camp of the Black-Yellow Great World. How is it? Dachira stood beside Night Sorrow. I need to deal with it. This amount of time is not a problem, Night Sorrow said in a low voice. In fact, Lai Bing's halberd had pierced through Night Sorrow's doppelganger. Night Sorrow's doppelganger was also greatly injured. Now, Night Sorrow was using the Underworld Stone to suppress it, so he could not perform the Great Death-Shattering Cut. Okay, Dachira nodded. She was not afraid of Night Sorrow getting hurt. As long as he did not die and did not affect his future, it was fine. Who has a sealed soul crystal ball? Night Sorrow looked at the group of Lords of Heaven. What do you mean? Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and asked. That guy's soul power has been confined by my space magic treasure. It is still being suppressed. I plan to imprison him, Night Sorrow said. Master has it. Here are 2. Take them. Qing Emperor took out 2 soul crystal balls and handed them to Night Sorrow. After putting away the soul crystal balls, Night Sorrow cupped his hands toward the group of Lords of Heaven and then returned to his tent. After entering the tent, Night Sorrow made the dragon cauldron appear. After entering, he sealed the soul of Lai Bing's doppelganger into the soul crystal ball. Lai Bing's soul power was suppressed by the dragon cauldron and could not resist. Night Sorrow handed the crystal ball that sealed Lai Bing's soul power to Dachira. Aluo, see how to deal with it so that it can keep hurting him. I have a way. How about your doppelganger? Can he still participate in the battle? Dachira asked. Speak. First watch. Chapter 1477. Yes, my doppelganger is currently healing in the Haoyin Godly Pagoda. Without the Underworld Stone, it would be very troublesome. Now, I am using the Underworld Stone to suppress and refine the Qi of Death left in Lai Bing's body. It is not very difficult. Yishan opened his mouth and said, Father, are you okay? Yi Qingyin and Yi Yujun entered the tent. Yi Qingyin went to Night Sorrow's side. I'm fine. You must be careful. Only then can I have nothing to worry about. Night Sorrow patted his daughter's shoulder and said, Night Sorrow, you have achieved great results this time. It is equivalent to giving the enemy a heavy blow. Qing Emperor also came to Knight Sorrow's tent. Lucky. I was really lucky this time. The enemy underestimated me. If he started to use the sound wave unique skill with his doppelganger, I would be in a passive position. I would not have the chance to expand my victory at all, Knight Sorrow said. Grasping opportunities is an ability. Grasping opportunities is also an ability. Knight Sorrow, this is the Troubled Times Tree Spirit Sap that can restore your body. Give it a try. Tang Jianfeng took out 2 jade bottles and placed them on the table beside Knight Sorrow. Thank you, City Lord Tang. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands at Tang Jianfeng. Don't say that. The crisis of the Xuanhuan Great World is all on you. In fact, helping is a favor. Not helping is my duty. I know it very well. Tang Jianfeng sighed. It was mainly because he felt too powerless. He was a Lord of Heaven, but he had almost no influence on the battle. After chatting with Knight Sorrow and Qing Emperor for a while, Tang Jianfeng left. He still had a lot of things to arrange. The direction of the battle was not easy to predict. Thus, Tang Jianfeng had to make some arrangements. At present, the group of Lords of Heaven had discussed 2 strategies. One was Knight Sorrow. If he could hold off the 2 half-step monarchs, the situation could be stabilized. The other situation was that if Knight Sorrow could not hold on, they would have to retreat. They would use a war of attrition and a protracted war to exhaust the enemy. No matter what, they could not lose too many people. If they wanted to retreat without suffering any losses, they would have to set up some formations to block the enemy's attacks. Those who stayed behind would have time to retreat. Knight Sorrow's doppelganger was using the underworld stone to heal himself in the time-accelerated space of the Haoyan Divine Pagoda. His original body was talking to his master, his wife, and his children. Knight Sorrow, don't treat the Troubled Times Tree Spirit Elixir lightly. It's a diluted treasure that has a strong healing effect on the body. If you're injured, just 2 drops will quickly heal you. Qing Emperor reminded Knight Sorrow. When he saw Knight Sorrow casually put away the Troubled Times Tree Spirit Fluid that Tang Jianfeng had left behind, he didn't pay much attention to it. So that's how it is. Then we have to take this seriously. Good steel should be used on the edge of a blade. Only use it when you're injured in battle. Right now, my clone won't have a problem recovering, so there's no need for top-grade resources, Knight Sorrow said. Okay, be careful, Qing Emperor reminded Knight Sorrow. After Qing Emperor left, Knight Sorrow looked at his children and said, You 2 are so troublesome. It's useless to chase you away. You promised your father that you'd stay with your Aunt Aluo. When she goes out to battle, you have to leave. Thank you, father. Yi Qingyan sat down beside Knight Sorrow and hugged her father's arm. I really don't know what to do with you 2, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Wherever father is, it's the safest place in the world. Father, you're so impressive today. Kaka, let's kill whoever boasted. Yi Qingyan waved her right hand and made a killing gesture. Strength is fundamental, but there are many factors that determine victory and defeat. You 2 should take a look. Here are the transmission array discs, illusion array discs, and killing array discs. Father will set up a temporary transmission point later. If the situation doesn't look good, use the illusion array discs and killing array discs first, then activate the transmission array discs and leave. Knight Sorrow took out a few array discs and a transmission crystal. He cut it and inlaid the transmission array discs, then handed them to Yi Qingyan and Yi Yujun. Your father has thought of everything for you 2, so you have to pay attention to your safety, Dechira said. Understood, Aunt. Yi Qingyan and Yi Yujun nodded. They understood their father and knew what was most important to him. Aluo, take these array discs to Ning Yun and Shi Yue. They can't let anything happen to them. Knight Sorrow gave a few array discs to Dechira, then got up and left the tent. He had given his children and disciples the transmission array discs, so there should be a corresponding transmission array. Knight Sorrow didn't want to see any accidents happen to the safety of his children and disciples. It was not difficult for Knight Sorrow to fly 500,000 kilometers to set up a teleportation array and come back. It only took him a little time to do it. when Night Sorrow returned. Only Dachira was left in the tent. Arrow, I still have the remains of Lai Bing's doppelganger. What should we do with it? Night Sorrow asked. He knew that he was not as experienced as Dachira. The skeleton of a half-step emperor is extremely valuable, but it also depends on who has it. If it is in the hands of the celestial sect, then it would be an extremely powerful battle puppet. However, we don't have any means to use it here yet. We can use the skeleton of his doppelganger to attack his true body, Dachira said. This is a war, and the outcome of the war is victory or defeat. If it were just me alone, I wouldn't use any other methods. But now that millions of living beings are involved, I can't care so much, Night Sorrow said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, you made the right decision. They were the ones who started the war. The cultivators who are half a step away from the Imperial realm are already unscrupulous in attacking you. Since that's the case, there's no need for us to be polite. Give me the skeleton, and I'll throw it into the dark abyss to feed the evil spirits. The evil spirits will affect me greatly, said Mandela. Then you do it. Night Sorrow threw the remains of Lai Bing's doppelganger to Dachira. Dachira took the remains of Lai Bing and left through the teleportation array. After returning to the dark abyss in the reincarnation world, Dachira threw the remains of Lai Bing's doppelganger into the group of evil spirits in the dark abyss. After solving the problem of the remains of Lai Bing's doppelganger, Dachira reached out his right hand and captured the king of evil spirits. Then, he imprisoned it in the crystal ball that trapped the soul of Lai Bing's doppelganger. In the big tent in the Devil Blood Chi, Lai Bing, who was meditating, stood up. At the same time, he destroyed everything in front of him with a palm strike. At this moment, his soul was in pain. He was enduring the pain of his soul being gnawed. Damn it! What did they do to my doppelganger's soul power? Lai Bing was going crazy. He knew that he was being attacked. His doppelganger's soul was being attacked, and his body was in unbearable pain. Xie Bing came to Lai Bing's tent. Senior brother, what happened? Junior brother, this time I failed miserably. Not only did my doppelganger die, but now the enemy is attacking my doppelganger's remains and soul. If I don't solve this problem, it will be a big problem, let alone my future achievements. I don't even know if I can survive. Lai Bing understood the seriousness of the problem. Say second update. Thank you for unlocking yesterday's chapter. Chapter 1480. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? I'll bring you an exciting novel to read. Night Sorrow saw the destruction of a spatial world. It was a scene of destruction when one's lifespan was exhausted. First, the land, sea, and space in the spatial world all cracked. Then, the spatial world was compressed toward the center. Then, there was a violent explosion. The huge spatial world collapsed instantly. Mountains, rivers, and everything turned into nothingness. The spatial origin couldn't withstand it and was annihilated into nothingness. The collapse of the spatial world gave Night Sorrow some inspiration. All along, Night Sorrow's forte in the Void attribute was the Void Extreme Point kill. It was also the starting point for him to comprehend the rules and willpower. That was the starting point. What Night Sorrow needed now was the ending point. At this moment, Night Sorrow saw the ending point. The 10,000 creations' ultimate destruction was a perfect cycle. It was a completely different feeling. The Void Extreme Point kill used a point to erupt and radiate in all directions. What was displayed in front of Night Sorrow now? It was the Great Annihilation where everything returned to the origin to the extreme. With this realization, Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger instantly switched positions. The original body entered the Hao-Ian godly pagoda to organize what he had just learned. The doppelganger appeared in front of everyone to suppress the current situation. The original body went to comprehend, while Night Sorrow's doppelganger waved his arm. What's wrong? Dachira, who took time to go back to the city in the sky to see his son, came back. Opportunity. I found an opportunity. Knight Sorrow grabbed Dachira's shoulders with both hands and said excitedly, "What? You just became a peak monarch not long ago, and you found an opportunity? You're not lying to me?" Dachira was also a little excited. A monarch and a heaven monarch were completely different concepts. Knight Sorrow's peak monarch could fight against a half-step Imperial Realm cultivator. He could even kill one, but it was still a little difficult. Because his own level was not high enough and his realm was not high enough, he could only rely on his battle techniques and the void attribute to suppress his opponent. However, when he reached the Heaven Monarch realm, it was different. It was a perfect ending for a Tier 8 expert. I'm not lying to you. It was really a coincidence. When the Nine Zones world was moving, I used the perspective of the Nine Zones world origin to see the great destruction of Space World. I have the starting point of the Nihility will, but what I lack is the end. The great destruction is the end, Knight Sorrow said. If that's all right, then I'll be waiting to congratulate you. Dachira was extremely happy. No matter how strong a woman was, she still wanted to see her man achieve something. If everything goes well, there won't be a problem. I need to prepare for my tribulation, said Knight Sorrow. Tribulation? You idiot. The Heaven Monarch realm is a perfected realm. It is not a new realm. There is no thunder tribulation. Only when one enters the king realm and the arch realm will there be thunder tribulation. Dachira said with a smile. She found it strange. Knight Sorrow, who had some knowledge in some things at an idiot level, had cultivated to this realm in less than 200 years. It was simply unimaginable. I am an idiot, but my wife is not an idiot. I don't need to worry about anything, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Great wisdom can be foolish. That's right for people like you. Simple, but perfect. Dachira took out a bottle of wine and poured 2 cups for himself and Knight Sorrow. Father, Auntie, your little life is really good. Yi Qingyan entered the tent. You naughty child. You say everything. Dachira glared at Yi Qingyan. Auntie, I was wrong. Father, are you in a good mood? Yi Qingyan looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. Not bad. You and Lord Feather have made good progress recently. Knight Sorrow nodded at his daughter. Knight Sorrow did not tell his daughter about himself. He did not want to affect her life. The original body was comprehending the last bit of will in the Hao Yin Godly Pagoda. Knight Sorrow began to study new combat skills. He had developed the Void Extreme Kill in the past. Now that he had a new understanding, he could study combat skills. When Knight Sorrow was studying combat skills every day, a big figure came to the Demon Blood world. It was the High Priest of the Demon Blood world. Although he was a Heaven Monarch, his status in the Demon Blood world was very high. Even the leader Demon Blood General respected him greatly. He had many means to solve problems that could not be solved by force. Khufu's figure was a little weak. He looked like a scholar. His face was pale, and his breath was pale. Xie Bing brought him to Lai Bing's tent. Seeing Lai Bing's weak state, Khufu shook his head and said, Lai Bing, you have been greatly affected. Lai Bing stood up and said, High Priest, I wasn't careful enough this time and fell into the enemy's trap. Now, the enemy is using my doppelganger's soul force and bones to continuously attack the main body. I can't stand it anymore. Then Khufu asked about the situation. He checked Lai Bing and said, The situation is not good. If you can't get back your doppelganger's soul power and skeleton through negotiation, you have to destroy them. If this continues, you will feel fear in your heart, and your Tao heart will collapse. Negotiation won't work. I want to talk to them. They didn't want to talk at all. Xie Bing said helplessly. Then you have to think about why they don't want to talk. There is nothing in this world that can't be talked about. The key is to grasp the key point. Why don't they want to talk? It's because your existence is a threat. As long as it's not a threat and you pay the price, there is nothing that can't be talked about. Khufu said. Indeed, they don't want to return Senior Brother's avatar soul power and skeleton because they're worried that we'll attack Senior Brother after he recovers. If we promise Senior Brother that we won't participate in this war and pay a price, they'll negotiate with us, Khufu said. Xie Bing understood the key point. No, We all know the strength of that Night Sorrow. If I withdraw from this war, it will be difficult for you to win. High Priest, please use a secret technique to destroy my doppelganger's soul and skeleton. This way, I can continue to fight after I recover. The Devil Blood Domain must win this war. Lai Bing said, if that's the case, Lai Bing, you can't withdraw from the war. Then we could talk about a time limit. After you get back your doppelganger's soul and skeleton, you have to promise not to participate in this war for a few years. It's best if we don't destroy your doppelganger's soul and skeleton. Khufu said, then let's talk tomorrow. Xie Bing thought for a while and said, he naturally didn't want Lai Bing to suffer heavy losses. Forever X free /# read PQ novels. Night Sorrow was still cultivating his ultimate skill called the Nihility Returns to Origin Kill. The Nihility Extremity Kill used a single point to destroy everything. The Nihility Returns to Origin Kill was the exact opposite. It gathered a large amount of Nihility energy at a single point before exploding and collapsing. The power was equally astonishing. Seeing Night Sorrow's new combat skill taking shape, Dachira knew that Night Sorrow wouldn't be obstructed from entering the Heaven Monarch realm. Once the new combat skill was completed, the last bit of willpower wouldn't be a problem. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.